Velina mai kako. Welcome to Keep It Aloha, a podcast that keeps aloha by shining bright like not a diamond, but a star. I'm your host Kamaka, and we got a Miss Hawai'i in the studio today. But before we introduce her, I gotta remind you to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Kamakadias if you want to join our Patreon ohana and get exclusive early and behind the scenes access to this podcast. We're an independent podcast, and all funds go to helping us run this podcast and bring you the best quality content every week. If supporting this podcast with money is not for you, but you still love listening to us, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. I read every single one, and to prove it, I want to share this brand new review from CM Jewelry. This person says, "Can I first say I just love Kamaka. His voice and attentive and caring personality is such a great fit for a podcast host. I lived in the islands many years, but married a man on the mainland with a job that keeps us planted in the Midwest. I have missed my Maui home every day for the past 25 years and tried to fill up every time I come back. It is never enough though. Kamaka's interviews and talk story style helps me feel more connected and always has me cracking up. Thank you, Kamaka. Keep them coming." Well, thank you, CM Jewelry. Keep the reviews coming. This episode we have with our guest today, Star, is a really fun one. We go pretty long because we're both two Portuguese talking stories, but you get to see really how bubbly and just great and comfortable she makes you because she's just a great communicator. So enjoy the episode and get to know the current, I guess former, now, Miss Hawai'i 2023. Support for this podcast comes from Texaco in Hawaii, which features 58 convenient locations across the state. Fueling up at Texaco is fast and easy when you use the Texaco mobile app to pay at the pump. The Texaco mobile app is a contactless way to pay for fuel so you can get in and out of the gas station quickly. Fuel your car and fuel yourself. Pick up your favorite local snacks and ice cold drinks at your neighborhood Texaco today. Texaco at Techron, driving performance. Our guest today is an inspiring film and television producer from the island of Oahu. She is the former Miss Chinatown 2022 and Miss Hawai'i 2023. This community leader is also the founder of Kahua Kollective, which is a nonprofit with the mission to invest in female leaders in order to unlock authenticity, build self-esteem, and empower engagement within their communities. As of today, she is no longer the current Miss Hawai'i and is back to being a regular, ordinary person. Just kidding. She will always be shining bright, crown or not, because she is a star. Pun definitely intended. I am so stoked to talk stories with her today. Her name is Star Dahl-Thurston. Aloha, Star. Welcome to the Keep It Aloha podcast. How you doing?
What's going on? I'll be an oregano person. That sounds fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking of oregano, but
all good.
Yeah, I guess ordinary. I only brought that up. I don't know if you remember, because when I was with you last week at the ICANN thing. You were talking about how you're going to be a has-been.
Yeah, I'm officially a has-been as of today. And I said that on stage last night. I'm like, tomorrow I'm a has-been. And nobody really got it. They were like, oh, as if I was calling Malika and Nikki
like anybody
has-beens. Yeah, I was like, no, that's not what I'm doing.
It's just an inside joke. The ones
inside
who get it. The girlies who get it.
The girls who get it, exactly. And you are one of those girls, Kamaka. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I prefer to identify as girly instead of girls. Just FYI. Yeah.
Girly. Copy that.
Yes.
Noted. Locked in.
Yeah. After starting to date my current girlfriend and like just hearing my sister and her friends talk, like girly is just always coming up. People always use it.
Yeah. So you found love in a hopeless place, aka
yes.
Oahu.
Yes. Yeah.
Tell me about her. What's her name?
Oh, okay. We're just going right into it.
Yeah,
okay.
is that okay?
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah, totally.
Because I met her just for a second.
Yeah, Dada.
At Dada, yeah. And she looks fabulous.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh my gosh.
She's the best, yeah. I'm totally okay with talking about it. I start off with getting to know the guest, so I'm just like,
oh sorry.
She wants to know about me, okay?
Yes, we can totally switch gears if you
want. No
to.
worries. Yeah, her name is Faith Rogers. Hi.
That is a Hollywood name. Fabulous.
Yeah.
Faith Rogers.
Yes. She's currently in LA right now, but she's coming back. I gotta go pick her up at the airport later tonight.
She lives there.
No, she lives here. She moved back. She was in LA for about a year, and then she moved back around March or February, March of this year. Yeah.
Great. She's like a fabulous model.
She's
something?
a great model. I'm a big fan. Yes. I'm just like, I would like to think I'm her biggest fan. Yeah.
There you go.
Support her in everything she does. Yeah. She'll, at some point, I'm sure she'll make an appearance on this or something.
Ooh la la.
Yeah, I don't know. Years into the future, I'm not sure.
Kamaka says you have to be with me for years to get on the podcast.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But outside of the podcast, everything is great. And we bonded over anime. That's how we first started.
No way. Okay, how did you guys meet?
We met, so this is, I guess, a kind of cool story. We met at Kimmy Warner's house, in 2019.
Oh, wow.
You know Kimmy Warner, the spear? She's a really famous spear diver lady. She has like a whole YouTube channel, and she's big on Instagram.
That's fabulous.
But anyways, I was at her house with my sister-in-law for Kimmy Warner's baby shower. And Kimmy was our third guest on the podcast, actually.
No way.
In 2021, I think that's when we started. 2022, whenever we started the podcast. And then I was just helping out over there, and the baby shower was going. And I met Faith and her ex-boyfriend because she was there with her dad, because her dad used to date Kimmy Warner, like back in the days. And they're like really good friends. So Kimmy helped raise Faith. And I didn't know this stuff until after getting to know Faith. So I met her over there and then never saw her again. And then so that was 2019. And in 2020, what is today? 24. So in 2023, last year, in August, I think, it was a Goodwill fashion show.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. Were you there?
No.
Okay.
No.
And my sister was in that fashion show, so I was going to support my sister, Kanoi.
Iconic sister.
Yes.
We love you, Kanoi.
She loves you, you know.
Actually,
joking.
I saw Kanoi wearing these earrings when everybody at Aloha Fest, or what was that called?
Pack Fest.
No. The Aloha Festival.
Dada Fest.
No. Last year, where it was still at Convention Center, and it was all local kind stuff. I swear it was called Aloha something.
Oh, like the Ho'omau market or
something like.
Is some sort of market?
Yeah, it was like a market, but it was like this big. All of Convention Center on the bottom was all shops.
I think it was a Ho'omau Hawaii market, or what, Made in Hawaii, or
Made in Hawaii Festival. That's what it was.
Something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then this company was making baby stuff, and then they happened to be making like fresh pakalana earrings.
Oh, nice.
And I start seeing all these women. I see Kanoi walking past with these earrings. I went, "Where did you get those?" She's like, "Go over there to the market." And so now I'm rocking them for her.
Yes, nice. And you knew Kanoi at that point?
Yeah, I met Kanoi.
Because you told me about the
Miss
story how
Chinatown.
you met her, and she didn't know that was you doing the stand-up poetry. Stand-up poetry. Just the spoken
Hey, you
word.
can call it whatever you want.
Yeah. We're talking about stand-up before this, that's why.
Yeah. But I had known her, and I'd seen her on every poster and every Instagram post that exists, because she's iconic. So
yeah, I taught her everything she knows.
Naturally. Those photos were so good. Oh my gosh.
That's how you found out we were related,
yes,
right?
I actually lost my mind when I saw you. I was like, no way.
Yeah.
Famous family.
Yeah, I did a recreation of my sister's modeling photos for her birthday last year in December. So that's what she's talking about. If you haven't seen it, if you scroll down on my Instagram, you'll find it.
Yeah, you kind of one-upped her.
I would like to think so.
Yeah.
So yeah, now that I'm dating Faith, I'll probably do that at some point. You know, to her photos.
Yeah.
Hopefully she's not listening to this episode, so it's a surprise. I don't think she watches the full episode, so it's fine.
You'll have to do it a little different than you did it with Kanoi.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go straight bikini.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
fabulous.
that's I think that will one up the thing I already
G-string,
one up.
butt
Exactly.
cheeks. Yeah.
I'm gonna tan a little bit.
Yeah. Or don't.
Or don't. Yeah, that'd be
better.
even funnier.
Yeah.
Maybe grow out a dad bod.
Yes. Fabulous.
Yeah. But so Faith and I we saw each other again at Goodwill. She was following the podcast actually. So we connected, and we know just how you would just respond to stories. But it was like, hey, remember me from Kimmy Warner's house or whatever? And like, so we remembered that. And then she would post about watching anime, and I started watching anime after my breakup last year. And while I was just living at home, I was just picking up a new hobby.
Yeah, anime.
Yeah.
What's your favorite show?
Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen. Do you watch those?
No, I only watch Hayaku, the volleyball one on Netflix.
Oh, I've never heard of that one.
And it might not even be called Hayaku, but there's this like volleyball. They're like in high school. I watched some of it, and I liked it.
Yeah. So there's some good stuff. I mean, I loved anime because it's great visually, and people love that. But the lessons that it teaches you,
really,
like, totally, it's just these adult themed life lessons.
You're kidding me.
I'm not even joking. I watched cartoons growing up as a kid, and you know, I love that. So, you know, watching anime, it's basically just watching adult cartoons. But they have these deeper life lessons that
okay, so what's
totally
like the
love.
last biggest life lesson that you learned from anime that was like, whoa, that's blowing my mind?
I think so. I watched Attack on Titan, and some people say Attack on Titan is probably like one of the greatest shows of all time, like anime or not, like one of the greatest stories of all time.
Really?
Yeah. And it was a very good show. I didn't care too much about the ending, but I remember, hopefully I can remember this. I posted about it on my story once because I really love this. It was something about like, I don't know if it was like you have to sacrifice or you have to be willing to be the devil or be the hero. I mean, be like the bad person to be a hero sometimes.
Okay, interesting.
Like you have to do what most people don't do to be a hero or to get what you want. Yeah, it was something along those lines. Basically, it was like about how people aren't willing to sacrifice certain things to get to a certain level or whatever. Not in a bad way, but just I'll look it up after this and I'll show you because I can just go to my archives and look at that story. But it was something along the lines, but also just like with Demon Slayer, like that helped me get through the marathon because, you know, it's this guy who's always like, he's fighting demons, trying to fight First Family and whatever, but he's always like getting bust up. And anytime he like, you don't think he's going to make through, he's like, I have to do it. He like always pulls through. So that's inspiring. And like, there's just these little lessons that you take from every episode. But anyways,
I love it.
I love learning these things. And I'm sure I could think of more if I had the time. But yeah, so we bonded on that and then started hanging out, and yeah, it just totally clicked. We're both very similar. We did the whole co-star astrology stuff because she's into that. No sad faces, all smiley faces.
Wow, that's a big deal.
It's a big deal. Yeah, we're both Gemini moons, Virgo risings.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that. I just know that I'm very much an Aries.
Okay.
Like, I'm an Aries and I know about that.
We're both Aries. I remember you saying your birthday was a little after mine.
Yep. So that's all I know about
Yeah,
it.
so you can look into that stuff. I was educated a little bit more on those things, obviously. And they actually make a lot of sense. And it's very telling of a person. Yeah. So once you understand a little bit more, I think it's pretty interesting. But yeah, it's just the fact we had so many similarities. And we're like, we're totally just like, we get along, we're so compatible. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, so very happy.
Faith, fabulous.
Yeah, Faith.
Go, girl. Get after it.
Not just me starting off the podcast, just gushing about my relationship.
Yeah, that's love.
Yeah.
We love that.
But anyways, the real reason why we're here today and the real reason people are here watching this is to learn about you, Star.
Right.
Yeah.
You're a has-been. Now I'm the next big deal.
Yes, who cares about
They're
me?
here for me.
Yeah.
Stop talking about yourself. Gosh.
Perfect. I hope you guys can see your star pants, by the way.
Yeah. Can you see? Yeah, there's like stars.
Okay, so I have a lot to get into.
Okay.
But we like to start at the beginning. Where are you from? Where you grad? And what was it like growing up?
Yep. I am from Kapahulu, Oahu. Graduated Punahou School, which everybody rags me about.
The Poons.
Yep. But I was super fortunate. I went there from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade, except 11th grade, I did an abroad program in Beijing, China. So I lived there for a year and had studied Mandarin in school. I feel super blessed to have gone to Punahou. I was a financial aid kid. My mom was a single parent. And my life looked really different than all the other kids around me. So that was kind of an interesting tension. And what it was like growing up, I grew up just with my mom, and I have a phenomenal relationship with my dad now, but we didn't really have that when I was younger. And I grew up really as an adult, which is kind of interesting to figure out as an adult because my mom just kind of took me around. Her and her gay best friend, Richard, raised me together. So I just always had the best time with them and always was used to having older relationships. So like all of my friends were a lot older, and to this day, I would say a lot of them are not my age. But I've recently been making a lot of friends my age at church, so that's been kind of fun.
Yeah. How old are you, by the way?
26.
Okay, 26. All right.
But Yeah, that was interesting. Like, I never really did the play outside thing or like play with the toys. And I'm sure I did. And my mom was here. She would be like, you were a kid, you know, but you know, she'd pick me up from school and we'd go to happy hour for dinner and we'd do this. And I wasn't drinking, of course. I was just a eater.
Sure, that's what she has to say.
Wait, should we do ASMR? Should we do ASMR?
No, it's fine.
Okay. I don't think we'll be able to hear each other.
I just didn't want to out you about drinking underage.
Oh, yes. I would never do that. Yeah, I have 2 half sisters, but we didn't really spend a lot of time together as kids. So now as adults, we get to form that relationship, and they helped me a lot in pageantry because they're performers. And my eldest sister just gave birth this week to her second baby,
congrats.
Indy Lane, and she's the cutest little thing. And I haven't even met her yet. I've been in pageant land for the last week, and I was hoping to swing by today, maybe to meet her.
Okay, well, we won't hold you here too long.
Nah.
Just a solid 5 hours.
5 hours, yeah, that's no problem. Yeah,
that's 2 hours is like Portuguese 5 hours.
absolutely, no.
Or 5 Portuguese hours is like 2 regular talking story hours.
When you said 2 hours, I was like, that's really tight. I was like, that's not a lot of time to get out everything I have to say, Kamaka.
Well, we don't have a time limit. That's just like we talk around 2 hours.
Yeah, no, I love it.
Yeah, I don't know if the people love it. I definitely know Jordan doesn't like it because I gotta
all the editing.
Yeah,
but there's so many good clips. It's so good.
Yeah. Our last episode was 3 hours and like 30 minutes.
No way.
Yeah, we was just looking over the files. He's like, it's like 120 something gigabytes.
Wow, Jordan, I'm so sorry. This is gonna be a time for you.
Yeah, sorry,
but you're
Jordan.
so good at your
I'm
job.
just trying to kill time until Fate comes in tonight, so I have a lot of time.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, bless you.
Oh.
There's tissues right under there if you need. Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So growing up, you grew up single mom, no siblings around you. What were you into like extracurricularly?
Okay. Yes. I always wanted to have like a thing, right? Everybody they do sports or they do theater, something exciting. I was kind of not really good at anything. I thought, and my mom always told me, your strength is communicating with people. Because I could always I'll talk story with whoever. But I tried to do sports, right? Volleyball. Actually it started with tennis. I was like, okay, I'm good at tennis. I'm good. I'm liking it. I like the little skirt. And then I go to my mom and I go, Mom, I'm so sweaty. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. And she goes, okay. And so pulled me out of tennis. And then I tried volleyball, broke my foot the first day of volleyball camp. I was a pole vaulter. And in, JV, like middle school, I was 3rd in the state. And there was only 3 women there. So I still say I'm 3rd in the state. I have that medal somewhere.
It's still true.
So basically, I'm an Olympian. And then after that, I didn't really do sports. I had ran track and field, but I couldn't run. It was just kind of like doing something to do something. I loved to dance, but I would just do it like once a week. My sisters danced for 24/7. So they were like legit dancers. So I was always surrounded by people who were really good at what they were doing. And I have a lot of passion and I want to do something, but I never knew what that would be, you know? So I feel like a lot of my life I've been looking for something to pour everything into, especially because I have like, I would say my ADHD, addictive personality. Like I want to give everything to one thing. But my mom was always like, don't search for something, like it'll come to you. And your strength is communicating and talking and connecting with people, which would turn into my talent for Miss Hawai'i and Miss America. And that just kind of blew my mind because to remember something she had told me when I was so young and not understand it until you're older and then see it kind of evolve has been a real gift. And even someone came up to me last night when I gave up the crown, and this woman who was friends with my family, I'd never met her, and she said, you have such a gift for sharing and talking. Like, however God's going to use you, just keep doing that, keep sharing. And it just felt like a full circle moment for me, because even as Miss Hawai'i or competing in pageants, these women are incredibly talented. They sing or they have an instrument or they've been practicing their whole lives to do this one thing, where I've just I feel like I just float around, like talking story. I'm like the personality hire of life, I think. So anyway, I don't know what I was talking about, but that's kind of.
I can see it. And I feel like you're meant to be in front of the camera, just talking, whether hosting a podcast, being on the news, of course, Miss Hawai'i representing the entire state. You have a very good personality. The one thing that I like about you over the other, stars and, people with these big personalities is you're really down to earth.
Oh,
like
thanks.
even your story about how you made it to Miss Hawaii is super, not random, but just like, it's not the norm.
Typical, right?
Yeah. Cause, I guess when we were at the Miss Hawaii when you won last year, we got invited, so we were watching, and all we kept hearing about is how this girl Star is gonna win, and she was like so nice and kind and just like a normal person. And then I learned more about your story, and then you told me I think the other week when you were just like you did the Miss Chinatown thing, and then you ended up just like doing Miss Hawaii, and
just ended up there.
And you just ended up there.
Are you guys sure?
Yeah. Me?
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. And I did feel really different than everyone around me. And we had talked about this last week. I think some people who are really great at the performance aspect thrive in this space. And Kahua definitely had me here for a reason, but it didn't mean that it was because I would enjoy it. I've gotten a lot of feedback from young women that appreciate just my candor, I guess, and seeing someone that they can relate to go on platform and be Miss Hawaii and go on to Miss America. But it was hard, like looking different than everybody else. And especially in Miss America, I made so many friends. These women are incredible, but they are like prepped for this. They've been doing pageants since they were 5 years old, and they're performers, pageant girls, and still pageant girls who are down to earth and real. Like that, I never thought existed. That is really cool. Like Miss Texas, who was first runner-up, Ellie Brew, she is like pageant and ready, but she's the most down-to-earth, like most fun, just like chill girl, and she's so young. I think she's like 21.
Wow.
So incredible to be first runner-up, and I can't wait to see them again. But all that to say, I'm kind of looking around going, I'm not like these women, and I felt really out of place for a lot of my Miss Hawaii year, because I realized this week watching all these women be so excellent on the stage. When I won, instead of like lifting up my ego to think, oh, I'm Miss Hawaii now, I kind of brought down Miss Hawaii. A part of me thought, oh, well, if I can achieve this, then maybe it's not really a big deal, or like maybe anybody can. And then watching these women and being like, wow, she's so great. And then them coming to me for advice, or me having a platform to talk to them as the current Miss Hawaii and gonna crown one of them. I kind of let myself appreciate the achievement, and kind of be proud of myself. Because I did just feel like I was randomly thrown in there. Like God just threw me in, and that was for me to share my story about coming out of something really dark and showing people that they can find joy again after such devastation, emotionally and spiritually. But also I did work for it, and I didn't really let myself feel that, because I was always comparing myself once I won to the other women that I had ran with, but also from Miss America. And you just kind of, it knocks you down a little bit.
A little bit imposter syndrome.
1,000,000%. For so long, I hadn't thought that I earned it. I thought it was just this fluke, like it was my timing.
They just be letting anyone win Miss Hawaii these days, huh?
No, literally like that night I went home, I guess they let anybody do this. And I'm joking, and I was excited, but it really did get to me after a while, and you don't always clock it, because there isn't this big, huge community of people that do this. Like it's just a small little pocket. And the former Miss Hawaii's are so incredible, and I talk to them, and it's great. But you also just, I think, feel out the environment for so long. I didn't come out talking about things, and you just wonder. Like I'm more of a thinker. Well, I'm more of a talker. But like I really try to digest and understand what I'm thinking and feeling before I say something about it. So it took this long to have an idea of what this was and what my emotional experience was. I had a friend tell me once that you can't experience something and analyze it at the same time.
That's great.
So as it comes to a close, I've been able to look back and really identify what moments meant what to me, and how that translated and the lessons that I've learned. So Miss Hawaii has been my anime.
Yeah, it teaches you a lot, huh? But I love that you can't, what was it?
You can't experience something and analyze it
at the same time. I totally believe that. It's like when you're, in something, in a stressful environment, or let's just say for a relationship, for example, it's all great, and like you take a step back, you finally break up, and you're like, then you start to realize all these other things, the red flags, the other things. There's like, whoa, I just like stayed in this way too long. I didn't notice all of this. Everybody else noticed it, but I didn't, because you're so close to it.
Isn't that the worst when you break up with someone and people go, yeah, that makes sense. And you're like, what? What?
What are you talking about?
I know. I just went through a breakup a couple months ago, which was crazy. I got back from Miss America. We broke up. Like, everything was coming to an end. I was broke because I had spent all my money doing this pageant stuff that I didn't understand what I was doing it for. And that's when you just start really analyzing a lot. But that had happened. And then the next week was my birthday, which was on the eclipse. And I think is really cool because in a lot of like Hawaiian history that I had read about, like eclipse, a lot of mega keakua stuff happens on the eclipse. And I felt like that was such a marker for how God would pivot who I am. Like, I feel so different than I was 2 months ago, but also 1 year ago. Like, I think I started the analyzing about a month and a half ago. And I've had all this time, these 6 weeks, to kind of process what would happen yesterday. And I left that theater cheesing. I was smiling, just so content to not only pass it on to Haley Cheney-Kane, who was my first runner-up last year, but to just feel content about my year. There's, of course, things that I would change. A former Miss Hawai'i had told me when I won, by the time you figure it out, you'll be giving it up. And it's so true. I just kind of started figuring out how to do this. And then it was over, which is okay. Because it's prepared me for so many other things in life. So it's been a whirlwind. 1 year,
it goes by so quickly. And I think with anything, it's hard to do something for just 1 year.
Yeah.
Like, even Peace Corps is, it's a 2-year commitment. But you're not comfortable. You're not integrated until like the first year. So the first year is just getting used to living in that environment, getting used to your new life. So and doing anything in 1 year, starting a business. And if you only had 1 year to be like, hey, do a successful business in 1 year, that's impossible.
No, and as Miss Hawai'i, I tried to do so many things that I felt like sometimes I did nothing. I just started this nonprofit really by myself. Like, my family helped me with a couple events, but I had no team. I had no idea what it took to actually make something happen. And I just wasn't prepared. So that's had to take a back seat to the things that I do, because I don't want to do it wrong. And I don't want to do it like half-ass and not give everything. But I realized I can't prep for Miss America and try to have a job and try to have a relationship with my family and my friends and stay consistent with Jesus
and a romantic relationship.
And a romantic relationship. Like, it was so much. And I was trying to do everything at the same level. And I knew I needed to make sacrifices, right? But I didn't actually apply it, which was hard. But now I've learned how to say no to myself, because I would get stoked about stuff. It's not only saying no to other people, it's saying no to the ideas and knowing when your plate is full, when I can't actually take on a new project. So now I feel like my life is a lot more clean, if that makes sense, because I'll just have one thing on my plate. I know myself better. I have such bad ADHD. I cannot have 5 things going on at once. Like, just tunnel vision one thing, and I know I can do that well. Yeah. My pastor likes to say, try to make the things that you're like a 6 at, make them into 9s, rather than focusing on the things that you're maybe a 2, 3, or 4 and making them into 7s. Like, find something that you're kind of like already good at and then just make that excellent. But you don't have to be excellent at everything, and you don't have to try to improve everything at one time. And that for me was such good wisdom, because it helped me put down a lot of plates I was holding. Because then when you like drop the plates and they're cracking on the ground, you can't help but feel like you failed, when that was never for me to keep holding anyway. Yeah.
I think it's not about being excellent at everything that you do, being the best at everything you do. Is just giving your best in everything you do. I think there's a difference, and knowing how much you can give within your capacity, because we always want to be everything for everyone except ourselves. But right? So we end up pouring from an empty cup. That happens all the time, and burnout, and like I've been there recently in the last couple of years. I'm like, that doesn't happen anymore, because I went through those stages to know the triggers to avoid it. Now,
sometimes you have to go through it.
You have to, you have to go through it to grow through it. I believe that wholeheartedly, and that's why bad things in life, it sucks. It sucks when you're in it and you experience it. It's the worst, but after there's so many lessons that you can learn from it, and there's an Ed Sheeran video that I was watching. He was talking, I think it was to Howard Stern, and he was saying, you learn nothing from success.
Yeah.
You learn everything from failures.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, when you fail, you figure out how to do it right.
Mm-hmm.
You don't find success on the first try. If you do, good luck.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're amazing, you know. I think you won Miss Hawai'i first try.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so sometimes you do.
Well, and that's the thing, but did I learn anything from it? Because I still felt like it was just a fluke.
Mm-hmm.
I think like when you just find success, you don't actually believe that, oh, I did that. And if you do, maybe you need to journal about that and think about that.
Yeah,
because some people just like
I think there's a lot of layers to that one specifically because
Mm-hmm.
you know they say in life everything is better when you earn it.
Yeah.
You know, there's a whole thing about lottery winners when they, you know, get a lot of money, they or people that find overnight success, they don't know how to handle it.
Yep.
And they end up becoming depressed, they end up you know, exactly. So
literally me.
So I think it's weird because in our mind you're like you get all of this and it looks so great on, you know, on the surface, but really there's like so much more that that goes on behind the scenes. You know, there's the whole iceberg and you only see like the 10% of it, and underneath the rest of the 90 is like so much that you have to go through that you don't really share with everybody. But
totally. And back to what you said about excellence, you know, you don't have to be perfect at everything, but then all of a sudden I had one kind of come out of nowhere.
And there's the pressure to be perfect,
because
right?
what happens when you kind of started succeeding at everything you did in a public way? So then I kind of was like, I got to keep this up, you know, and it's subconscious. And I believe like that was my time to win. And I think the reason that I won is still like percolating. You know, I feel like God will continue to use that. And even I said from the beginning, if only one person heard my story and felt like, okay, there is something on the other side, because there was a time in my life I had journaled about it. I remember writing down like, no wonder I had such an amazing 23 years of life. I was a really joyful kid. I loved my life because I was only going to have 23 years of joy. Like losing my mom sucked everything out of me. I was her caregiver. She died within 4 months. It was really brutal. And just like withering away in front of me. And so much of my identity was wrapped up in her, which has been a huge lesson for me to learn how to submit my identity to God. But it just wrecked me. But I knew that there's purpose, and I still know that there's purpose. So it's not always, I think, that person's fault, right? But I do agree that you're not equipped to handle it until you've been through it.
Yeah.
But now I'm so prepared for whatever is next. So even I kind of feel like, and this is like a very privileged thing to say, but I feel like my Miss Hawai'i year was just preparation for whatever's coming next. You know, it wasn't the culmination. It's not the peak. It was the starting line for me, which, I mean, it's a fabulous, sparkly starting line, but I feel really blessed.
Yeah, I love the way that you put that. When you lost your mom, how long did it take for you to find any normalcy after that? Because, you know, we're talking about how you can't experience it and analyze it at the same time. So now you sound like, you know, you've moved past it, you've done the healing. I'm sure it's, you know, it'll come in waves, but at this point, what we see on the surface, you're okay. How long did it take you? Was it the same as like other experiences where you had to go through the whole Miss Hawai'i stuff to really understand now, and now you're kind of just understanding? Because it sounds very abrupt, like what happened.
Right. It was. And it was like right after COVID, because she had cancer the year before for about 8 months. And first chemo treatment was good. Like she was basically healed, had a full hysterectomy, did the 3 more treatments, and she was cancer free. But it had like an 85% chance of coming back. So she was good by maybe a July. And then come January, it came back. And this is the craziest part, which isn't your question, but I'm going to tell you anyway.
Yes.
So she had come to visit me because I was getting my tonsils removed in DC. That's where I went to college. And she came to help me through the surgery. And she had this pain in her side, like really like stabbing pain. Helps me through the surgery, goes back home. I get a call from her 2 weeks later. The pain had gotten worse, and she went to a Queen's Urgent Care, and they told her that she had cancer. And that was the beginning of this story for us. I came home for her second treatment in March with just a little rolly suitcase, like a carry-on. And that was on a Saturday. And by Wednesday, the world had shut down for COVID. So I was home.
So this is 2020.
This is 2020. And I was home with just one little suitcase. My friends in DC dealt with movers and packed my house up for me and put it into storage. And I lived in the living room on a blow up air mattress for almost like, I don't know, 6 months. But we got to be together through that whole time. And I just got to be next to her. We watched Korean dramas all day.
K-dramas.
No, the best. That's a whole other conversation.
That's like anime.
Yeah.
Subtitles.
Yeah. Which I found out she wouldn't read the subtitles.
Oh, she was just...
she just looked at it. She doesn't speak Korean. But I realized like the subtitles were getting glitchy and I was like rewinding it. She's like, stop, just play it. I go, we don't know what's going on. She goes, you read those? Mom,
so
what are we
funny.
doing? What are we watching this for?
Yeah.
But anyway, by July, August, she was good. And they had said, okay, we're going to have school again. So I flew back up to DC only have online class. But my mom was like, just do your thing. Go up there. I graduate in December, January. She comes up, brings all these leis, and she has this like really bad pain, like kind of in her back. Same section that the pain was the year before. And we made a joke like, oh my gosh, same pain, same trip, same cancer. And she went home, same thing. They told her your cancer is back and you have about 4 months. And that just was like, I didn't know how to process that. I was supposed to just start having my life begin, graduate college. I had finally figured out what I kind of wanted to do. And I had to come home. And it was a really steep decline after that because she was in so much pain. It wasn't like this romantic Hallmark, a walk to remember kind of decline. It was really brutal. And, the pain meds, like she wasn't there all the way. And I'll never forget, she died May 11th, 2021, and my birthday is April 8th. So I knew that was going to be our last birthday together. And just sitting there watching her, and she's in so much pain and she's empty behind her eyes. And so birthdays are hard. But I was surrounded by my family and it was still a beautiful celebration, but it's those memories that sneak up on you. So I said this in my poem last night and at Miss America, but I had a lot of peace when she died because she was suffering for a really long time. But it's those other things, the last, like that we'll never have another birthday on earth together. But I'm so grateful that we'll have an eternity together in heaven. But all that to say, it took me about 6 months after she died to feel any kind of normal. Immediately I was numb and just really depressed. And I was, drinking a lot and I was smoking a lot of weed just to get away. Like I just couldn't handle totally numbing. Because she had been smoking. We smoked weed together because it was her, that's how she could eat because she couldn't eat with the chemo. And we watched Korean dramas. We literally do that all day and watch Korean drama. And it's fabulous.
Now it makes sense with not reading the subtitles. Like, I don't care.
You're so right. Yeah, she's like, I'm here for a good time.
I'm vibing. I don't know about you, Star.
She's there for the good food. She's like, kamsamnida. Where is the... Yeah.
Anya hasai.
Yo. Yeah. Exactly. Oh my gosh. That's hilarious. I never really thought about that. So and just
you can't experience it, analyze it at the same time.
Amen. Wow, who said that? And so but I couldn't pray, couldn't open my Bible. Like I was so done. But I was so like I like to say a lot, like suffering Christians are the most dangerous type of person in a good way because they're on fire for God and they're right there praying and they're rolling. I don't know if you're a Jesus guy. I'm
Christian. I'm not strong. I'm not like a strong Christian. I say I'm not religious.
Copy that.
Yes,
okay.
But I have faith.
Got you.
Pun intended.
Yeah. So like, faith girl. Yeah. But yeah. So I find that Christians who are on fire, like really suffering, they're on fire because you have to stay so close. And that was my story when I was caring for my mom. I had to be so yoked up with Jesus, or that nothing was gonna be. I wasn't gonna make it through. But as soon as she died, I just was like. Because it's so hard. What happens when your prayers don't get answered? When God could have done it, but he didn't. My brain is too small to understand God's bigger vision, right? But I believe that God's timing is perfect and that he is creator and controller of all things. So then how do I come back to have a loving relationship when you took something away from me? That's what it felt like. But I came to realize that the why is never going to get me anywhere. So about 6 months later, I was still, smoking weed, just kind of numbing everything. But I started going to a new church, and I started finding community and making some friends. And I kind of I felt like I was shaking off like dust, like when the red dirt and it dries and it's all crackly. I felt like I was starting to wipe it away. Like it started hardening. I was still really out of it, but 6 months in was when I started kind of emerging out of my bubble. And it was I had a boyfriend at the time, broke up with him, that it wasn't really a great fit, great person, but like I started changing. And then maybe 3 months after that, somebody encouraged me to run for Miss Chinatown. And I had remembered that my mom always talked about Miss Hawai'i. And I was like, oh, okay, I think I'm going to do this. And that's when it started, which is a crazy journey, because I only just, honestly, right now, and maybe in the last couple months, was the first time I took a breath. I started my first major job 3 weeks after my mom died, because she worked in film and a lot of people knew her here, and one of her friends had gotten the producing gig on Magnum PI, and he wanted to help me out, Nepo baby. But
loud and proud.
Yeah, exactly, right. Because a lot of people say, that might have gotten you your job, but you kept the other ones that came after. I'm like, okay, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But so 3 weeks after she died, I started working, and then that job went to another job where I started prepping for a pageant, and then I was Miss Hawai'i. And then now it's over.
Now you're here.
Yeah, so this is the first time I'm taking a deep breath and looking back on everything. Because I thought I had healed a lot, and a lot of this process was cathartic for me. But after Miss America, I just had this full meltdown of like, you want your mom to be there. I realized there was so much of that experience that I hadn't healed. And I still felt so tied up. My identity still felt so tied up with her. And it's just been a crazy journey to so much, like, I wanted to be a sponge in a new environment, and I didn't have a good enough filter about what I was absorbing, if you know what I mean, because I ended up absorbing a lot of insecurity, a lot of what other people were saying. And one of the biggest things I learned is people who are judgers are not doers. I had a lot of people telling me what I'm supposed to be doing or critiquing me, but what are you doing? Like, so now I've learned, and it convicts me. If I'm not in your shoes in that time with those people, I cannot say anything. Even people who used to be doers, they used to do that. Well, what are you doing now?
They say if you're still talking about what you did yesterday, you're not doing much today.
Ooh.
But you just explain social media. Judges aren't doers; they just judge.
Yes.
They just live in the comment sections.
No, really, and I had a lot of comments, and
about what?
Well, when I first won, there were some comments about my last name being Thurston.
Just because it's like not a Hawaiian name or something?
No, because of Lauren Thurston, who imprisoned Queen Liliuokalani in the palace, right? Which I am not a descendant of him. Thurstons came down at different times. Lauren Thurston was here. My Thurstons came. They married Hawaiians. That Lauren Thurston, they turned into another name, which I won't say because that's a prominent name here in Hawaii still yet. But people thought they're like, the colonizers are back and they're taking over everything. And I hadn't even seen those. I think the org had deleted them, right? But they told me about it.
People find anything wrong. Anything.
Right? Even when I was Miss Chinatown, people were like, she's not Chinese. Now they like make you like take a DNA test or something. But I am 0.8% Chinese, thank you very much. And I can hui shou zhongwen, so don't even come at me. Nah.
You tell her doi buchi.
Yeah, doi buchi. Do you hui shou zhongwen ma?
Oh, no.
Oh.
In my Hawaiian immersion school, we had to learn all kind of language. We learned Chinese, and I just remember doi buchi.
That's really good.
And han hao.
Yeah, han hao.
And my name was Zhida.
Zhida.
I don't know what that means.
Me neither. The names are hard, like, because there's so many different characters because of the tones. Yeah, my mom forced me to take Chinese. I wanted to take Japanese.
It's a hard language.
I know.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn Japanese more so now, but yeah, Chinese tough.
Have you seen that TikToker that's like, gohan kudasai, sushi kudasai? Have you seen her?
I haven't, but my girlfriend,
she says
her gay best friend do that all the time. So we're in Japan. They were like making us. They're like,
with the selfie
kudasai. And then I like, they don't go to me. I'm like, I don't know what to do. And like, it was only 3 of them or something. Oh, I think they might have showed me the video. So I have rice tattooed on my my forearm. So I'll take the gohan. I'll be like, gohan,
Yeah,
kudasai.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah. So I do know. I'm only more adept to the TikTok world because of my girlfriend. You guys are the same age.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Well,
30.
how old are you?
I'm 31.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm uncle status.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Plus, when TikTok got big, I was from 2016 to 2019. I was in Madagascar, so I missed a lot of stuff. Yeah, so I didn't get on TikTok until like last year, and I only joined more so to just post stuff. So I haven't I missed a lot.
You don't go through. Yeah. What made you want to go to the Peace Corps? How'd that happen?
That was when I was studying abroad in Spain in 2014. When I was in college at UH, I studied abroad in Spain. I was learning Spanish. And then my resident director was talking to some other kids about his time in the Peace Corps. He was in Micronesia. He met his wife over there. I wasn't even part of the conversation. I just overheard them speaking, and it sounded really cool. So I went home to my host family, went online, looked up Peace Corps, and then I watched this 3-minute video. It just looked like everything I wanted to do. You could travel, you could learn, you could learn languages, culture, all of that. You could challenge yourself, and you can help people and you make people happy. And by that time, I got the travel bug. I just fell in love with learning culture. So, but I went to UH, came back after study abroad, and I knew it was in the back of my mind. So my idea was to finish up my Spanish or learning Spanish. I went to Argentina for another study abroad, came back, and I was so set on just going to South America. Peace Corps South America, and I could just get away from everything and help people, just live a super cool life.
Brazilians are gorgeous. Yeah. Men, women, children. I'm like, what?
Yeah. So I went, I wanted to go to Costa Rica or Peru. Those were my top 2 choices. And then I was on the M section, and I was just trying to finish my application because I was already set on South America. So I was like, oh, cool, Madagascar, like the movie. So I just clicked on it just to finish my application. And I ended up getting Madagascar, or I got an interview for Madagascar, and I was like, do I want to go to Madagascar? Yeah. I knew nothing about it. And they told me about the similarities between Hawaii and Madagascar. So I went. It was a blessing in disguise because I loved it. I ended up extending for another year.
Wow.
And it changed my life. Well, the language is in the same Austronesian family.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Same with Maori, Micronesian, Samoan, Tongan, all those languages. It's crazy because it's on the opposite side of the world, right? And people are going to be like, oh, here he goes again talking about Madagascar. Yeah. I get comments like that all the time.
You're like that one person that studies abroad for a semester.
Yeah, when I studied abroad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard when it's such a integral part of your life. Yeah. It was the most transformative experience of my life. So I talk about it all the time. I am who I am because of it, Yeah. So that a lot of the food that they have over there, we grow a lot of the stuff over here. The culture is very similar. They have their traditions, very Ohana oriented, island life, so it's cool. A lot of overlap. So I felt like I went from the big island to a bigger island in Madagascar,
That's like off the coast of Africa?
Yeah, it's off Mozambique. Yeah.
Okay.
And then when Kanoi was studying abroad in South Africa in 2018,
she
ended up coming to Madagascar to visit me.
Okay, I loved South Africa. That's the one place that I think that's my favorite place that I've ever been to. Yeah. So incredible.
I gotta go to mainland Africa at some point. I definitely want to go to Madagascar to visit everybody again, and then maybe I'll make like a mainland Africa trip. But South Africa looks really cool.
Okay, tell me this, because you grew up here.
Yeah,
Hawaii Island. Yeah. So, do you feel like you had a good understanding of geography?
No, terrible.
Okay, thank you. Everybody's like, "Oh, Punahou, you don't know where things are." I never took one geography class in my life. They never had me do it.
Like, you don't know where Iowa is in relation to Texas.
Absolutely not.
You don't know Midwest and like. No. The only time I feel like we learn geography is like if you went to A+ and you had that song that they had to sing.
I don't know what A+.
See,
wait, is that like Kumon? Mathnasium?
No, not Kumon, but so there's a song, or I think maybe there's a cartoon, or it's like
there is a song.
I can't remember how it goes, but there's a song, and that's how I knew some of the states. But I swear we never learned about geography.
We don't. it's just like a disconnect. When I went to Miss America, they have us count off by our state. You know, instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, they would like call them out.
What number state?
Yeah, in order,
Yeah.
right? So like our group leader is calling it out, and I'm like, how does she know what comes next? And then if someone else does it, they're like, what's next? And someone will go, oh, Georgia. I'm like, you guys know the order of the states? Like, this is crazy. I'm here.
Yeah.
And I would always answer,
hi, which is also Hawaii.
Yeah, no, but I would go chihu because I like to just undercut it and just stick with the chihu. You know, that's my love language. I'll just chihu like that. And so I had
quality time, words of affirmation, and chihu.
Period. And so I had all these cute little white girls going chihu, and I was like, oh, I love this. A part of me is like, and then other part of me is like, yes,
I did that.
Welcome, I did that. Yes, a cultural icon. Some say. Me.
That's so funny. That's a great point. It's nice to I thought, because I have a different upbringing, I went to Hawaiian immersion school, so we obviously learn different things. We don't sing the national anthem, we don't do Pledge of Allegiance. I never learned that. We do Hawaii Pono'i. So I thought not knowing American geography it was just us. But it's nice to know that even Punahou didn't even do that.
And to be fair, when I went abroad that junior year, that's when they take U.S. history. So, but I came and took it in senior year. But still, no geography. It was like U.S. stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Like wars, that kind of thing. But yeah, no geography.
Yes. That's I hopefully, I'm going to post this clip and we're going to see if we're the only ones.
Right? Everyone's going to be like, okay,
no,
you're dumb and you're dumb.
No, it's a common thing, I feel like.
We're in a separate land of our own.
Yeah. It's making me really think now.
Right? Okay, here's another question about Hawaii. I feel like we are a part of Asia. Not literally geography.
We're more part of Asia than we are America.
Right. I feel like this is very Asian culture. And so many people who are locals can either understand or identify with other Asian cultures. Right. And then I go to the continent and they're like, you're not Asian, or like, why is it so Asian? You know, and even down to how we like run ohana, it's like so familial, because like Chinese people, Japanese people, like filial piety is such a thing to honor like the kupuna and to take care of them afterwards is such a thing that we do here. And so what is even my question? Do you feel like we are Asia? Like we are considered a part of Asia?
So I always felt like we have way less similarities to Americans than, what am I saying? I feel like we have more similarities to everyone else, not just indigenous cultures, than mainland Americans. Because our culture is so much more related to Asians, Mexicans, even African Americans. So anytime I would study abroad or when I was living in Madagascar, I would gravitate more towards the ethnic people. Totally. Like my closest friend was like a Mexican American, you know, because we could relate to like being more ethnic, having our own culture, having our own traditions. And it's just different. I mean, like we don't grow up eating mashed potatoes
and it really is different, because growing up in Hawaii, I don't know if this is how you were. I never thought twice about my white friends, Asian friends, Mexican friends. I mean, there are really no Mexicans. But, you know, I never thought about it. But then when I would go to the continent, immediately you feel the ethnic divide. Yeah,
there's like a type of segregation, right?
Right. Where then after a few years of living there, I started understanding why, like, okay, like, I honestly did get a little bit more apprehensive towards Caucasian people, because I'm like, oh, we're probably not going to be on the same page about a lot of things, and just the way that we interact with each other. So that was interesting to me. And then really identifying with a lot of like African American people, but then them being like, well, but you're not black. Like we're like the black girls are with the black girls, and then the Asians are over here. And then we're not Asian enough to be with the Japanese kids. And I'm not like really Chinese enough to be with like the FOB Chinese kids. So it was like, wait,
and then you come here, you're not Hawaiian enough to be with the Hawaiians.
Come on. Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Being Native Hawaiian, not speaking Hawaiian, not being a part of that. Because my dad is the one who's half Hawaiian, lives homestead in Kapolei. But because we didn't always really grow up together, I didn't have that ingrained into my everyday life, right? Is my mom's gay best friend, and her, like, she's half Portuguese. And we had fun, but it wasn't like an enrichment in Hawaiian culture.
Yeah, I noticed all those things. I didn't notice all those things until I left. You know, which is the same as you, which is the same as most people. To leave too. Totally, yeah. We live in bubbles. We live in echo chambers. You know, if you don't, I was just thinking about this. other day when I was going up some steps. I don't know why. I was like, people need to talk to people outside of their environment. Like, you just need to get to know other perspectives in life. Like, yes, it's comfortable. Maybe, you know, it's nice just to live in your nice, cozy environment with your friends and families telling you all the same things that you want to hear. Everyone's agreeable. And you don't need to talk to other people just to, like, change the way you think or whatever. But it's just to get perspective. Like, we're not saying, like, what you're doing is wrong. You know, nothing is right and wrong, I believe, you know, besides, like, the total moral right and wrongs, you know. Just, like, talk to people and see how they view us. Talk to other people to see how they view other things, because we're thinking like we know everything. You know, we think Hawaii is the world. Yeah. When in retrospect, we're like this on the map. We're so tiny. Like, there's a whole world out there. Yeah. Yeah. Like, we can't just think like the world revolves around us, that poor us, or we're better than everyone else. It's just on both spectrums,
or that it should revolve around us.
Yeah. Like, oh, we're so much better than everyone. We're in paradise. Oh no, our history is way worse than yours. It's not. It's totally not. We're just part of the rest of the world.
I think so much is wrong now in America. Like, it's so divisive, and the biggest thing is because we can't have conversations without one needing to defend ourselves or not be emotional. You know, say I say something that you disagree with, and like, people are so upset nowadays.
I can't do it. I can't.
No.
People like you, I can't even look at you.
No, exactly. Exactly. And like, I love where people like to say they're owning their identity now. You know, I think it's important to know who you are and what your identity lies in, but then to assert that is the only way to be over somebody else who lives in a completely different reality than you. I think that's the delusional part. Yeah. You know, you're like coming and creating a world for yourself, and all of a sudden everybody else has to be a part of that world. I don't think that makes sense. Yeah. Like, we should just be able to have a conversation.
I agree. Yeah.
But nowadays, like Gen Zers, millennialers, which, are you like a millennial?
I'm a millennial.
Okay.
I saw your TikTok.
Okay, yeah. I feel like I'm right in the middle. Somebody called them zillennials, right? Because I did grow up most of my childhood without technology, like without social media.
You're 97.
98.
98, okay.
And then the other half of like...
oh, you just turned 26.
Yeah. And then the other half was social media, you know? But I didn't have like one or the other, so I can kind of like just pick and choose the moments where I'm like, oh, I get this, but then I don't get this. But with like Gen Zers, they just can't have non-emotional conversations. I kind of lost my train of thought, but watch them all come for me, like, you're coming for me and all.
No, I think it's different. I saw somebody, I think it was Gary V. I think he was talking about why we hate on Gen Zers because they're different. Yeah. Like, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, we say, oh, they're just lazy. They don't want to, you know, work hard and get a 9-to-5 job. But I think in a way they just see the world differently, because the world we live in now is different than how we live.
And it's a bigger world. Imagine
more opportunities.
Yes.
You don't need to work a 9-to-5 these days.
But imagine being 9 years old and you are exposed to like the political reality of like the Gaza Strip. Yeah, and Trump and Biden. Like, I think that our brains are still developing as kids, and it's not meant to process these really big things. You know, like parental controls, like all of that is there for a reason. And we've never had such high anxiety rates and depression rates. And my Podagi mind thinks, well, we've also never had such exposure to things. Like
because of social media.
Because of social media, young people aren't literally scientifically made to process these really deep ideas, like inside out. When I saw that, I was like, how is this a children's movie? Because it's kind of sad. It's like big kid ideas, right? But it speaks to the fact that emotions get more complicated and the lines get blurred as you get older, but your brain can understand that. That's a part of growing up. But now these kids who don't know how to blend that, you know, we get the anxiety of it or something, but we're able to calm it down with like, okay, but that's not everybody's reality, or like you can't fix everything. But then they're like, that anxiety, the rush just turns into like full passion. And I think what we would call, or older people would call, audacious, to them is just bold. It's a complete, like, the language is different. The words we use and the words they use have different meaning. It could be the same word, but the way that they walk around life is different. And sometimes it's really good because they don't take crap from anybody, right? They're like, no, you're not treating me right. And no, I'm not going to do this. Like, you're going to step to me like that.
Yeah. And then for us, it's like, wow, look how disrespectful they are. We're taking it as disrespect when they're just asserting their boundaries.
Right. In certain moments, right? Because that's like, you're being disrespectful. In a work environment, I don't think any Gen Zers can get abused or anything or mistreated because they're going to expose them on TikTok and that guy's going to get fired. Yeah, canceled. Yeah. And then the CEO of the company they work for is out.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's such power. But like you said, like overnight success and the power doesn't breed
work ethic.
Yeah, it doesn't. And so you have this like lack of balance, I think, sometimes. And it's not a blanket for everybody, but I'm going to be really curious for us in 20 years to look back and see where Gen Z really not only took the world, but where they're at emotionally, because you grow up and things change, right? But to see how this will all have impact, because I say the last 10 years, maybe last 8 years, it's really like new, right? We're breaking a lot of ground and there's a lot of disruption. So I wonder to see what it'll look like when everything settles.
We will see. Hopefully we're still podcasting by then and we can talk
I know,
about
right?
all
The
this.
podcast will be hologrammic.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And I'll have a successful podcast.
Yes.
I'll have my own show. Did you see my TikTok about the show I want to do?
No, I didn't.
I was like, okay, maybe one of these networks will give me like a little like show, maybe like KTV or like KHON. I can like be out in the world doing like honest reviews or like some kind of like
a
commentary.
man on the street kind of thing.
Man on the street, yeah. And I'm just talking and it's funny.
Tour.
Yeah.
you find the next one.
Yep. I'll be like, hi.
That girl's going viral.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I
be
can
me.
totally see that and I support it.
And I'll have like
hopefully
that
after this episode, you know.
So KTV, KHON, Hawaii News Now.
I think anybody would be foolish not to produce something with you.
Oh.
We will if nobody does, we'll produce something.
You want to co-host?
I don't want to co-host.
Shucks.
But we will produce it.
Yeah. So keep it aloha. Keeping it aloha.
Keep it aloha, yeah.
Is it's the podcast, but it's also the name of your company. You were explaining this the other day.
Yeah. So separate from Hawaiiverse. Hawaiiverse is my business. It started the podcast. Podcast got big, separated it, named it Keep It Aloha. I'm still part of Hawaiiverse, but more hands off. Full time Keep It Aloha. Jordan and I we're doing the podcast together. His business is The Kind Media. So now
got it.
Keep It Aloha is being produced by The Kind Media. And so
The Kind Media can have other podcasts.
So The Kind Media does do other podcasts.
Oh.
So we talk about producing other podcasts and, you know, we'll talk more after. But I think there's different avenues that we can go to. Like this is just the podcast. This is my main thing.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want to be in the spotlight all the time. It's nice to hear nice things about you. It's nice to have a platform to share all your opinions and everything. But I like the amount of times I think about just riding off into the sunset, joining the Peace Corps again, just disconnecting from everything.
Yeah, story of my life.
You know, it happens a lot, but I would be foolish to do that, of course.
Right. Because when you have certain gifts and like your life leads certain
places.
and
you just got to ride the momentum, you know, so.
But I also think you're perfect to start this new wave of like podcasts in Hawaii. Like at least I don't know, I think your podcast changed the game a lot because it reached every audience. Like it was one of those four sector things, like it's for every audience because it just caters to everybody. But also the fact that you olelo Hawaii and that you're from here, like there's that anchor that attracts a lot of viewers that I think would be like, some other young podcast. You know, I think it's the perfect trailblazing podcast to kind of reinvigorate what that means for local creators. You know, like you starting your podcast, I was like, okay, there's local podcasts, you know, that maybe I could do that. And I'm sure there are others. I'm sorry to the ones that I'm not shouting out, but I was like, oh, come on, because he's a local guy, regular people, but you have all these big timers on your show and it's cool. And the content is really good. I was thinking you're kind of like the, like Call Her Daddy of Hawaii, but super different.
I think more Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan. Yes. Fabulous. Because he never started that way, but for women, for young women where something,
you could be the Call Her Daddy of Hawaii.
Oh my gosh, yes. That would be awesome. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
The girlies?
I could totally
something for
see
the
that.
girlies? Because you're like the ea the man.
I'm
the
like
juice.
very wholesome, peace and love.
Yeah.
Let's just like talk stories.
I love it.
Super rooted, but also lived abroad. So I just bring a lot of different perspectives. I just like to try to be the most relatable person.
Yeah.
That's why I keep doing all these things, whether it's like I'm an athlete, but I watch anime.
What kind of athlete are you?
Football,
surf?
soccer. I play basketball and I surf and yeah. So all that's that was great form.
Yeah, 3 points.
Yeah. Touchdown.
Yeah, no, totally. 4. Yeah. I love golf.
Yeah.
I'm a golfer.
Okay, I can see that. I never got into golf, but yeah, I want to represent many, many different aspects of life, and especially Hawaii. I speak Hawaiian, but I also like modern things. I like video games. I love sports, but you know, I think learning is cool. You know, I speak many different languages, but
which is so cool that you've become a space in like Hawaiian culture and language, because at least how I've always experienced it, it's very ceremonial. And there's like these specific kumu who have that right to say something in a space. But here you are just being like, no, well, this is the language I speak, which is so rare. Like to just naturally be a regular, everyday person, young person. And you have the key. You have a seat at that table because of that. You know, just because you Aloha Hawaii and are from Hawaii Island and understand these things that not everybody understands anymore. It's refreshing, you know, like that ceremonial aspect. It's lovely and important, but I also think in some moments it acts as a gatekeeping. Yeah. It's like we gatekeep a lot of that. For me, like not having access to information even and language.
I see what you're saying. Yes. You know, I gotta retract the gimmick thing. That's not what I meant.
Yeah, no, it's okay. At least it's not live.
Yeah. Oh no, we're gonna leave it in. I'd leave all my mistakes in. I don't care.
Are you gonna leave all mine too? Oh my gosh.
Because that's what makes you human.
That's so true.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be perfect on this podcast.
Yeah.
I say what I say. Good.
Yeah. Amen.
But
and I can say what I want to say now that I'm not Miss Hawai'i.
Exactly.
I can't get fired.
You're free to do whatever you want.
Exactly.
I think that's like the coolest thing about this, and I think why we have such a big audience is because I'm just a normal guy doing a podcast talking to people, you know, say, oh, you're so famous now. I'm like, I'm just famous by association. Crazy. I just talk with like famous people, but at the end of the day, we're just all normal.
Super normal.
We're just talking stories like we do in Hawaii, and you know, if we can represent certain parts and inspire people to, you know, be a certain way, like that's awesome. But the one thing that I would love everyone to like have the mindset of just like let people be. I think that's the thing that drives all of us crazy as humans, is we're always trying to control everybody. We want people to live life like how we want to live life. If you're not doing that thing the way I would do that thing, that annoys me. If you're not saying this thing the way that I say it, then that annoys me. We're so annoyed by everyone else. And then we're like, okay, what about all the inner work that we need to do? You know, we're worrying about how, you know, girlfriend does this, boyfriend does this, friend does this, parents do this, when I'm just like, I got a lot I got to work on.
Yeah, that's so major,
you know?
Because I don't think that we can separate our opinion and our emotions. They have to be connected, but I think you and I have both learned you can have an opinion and let it just brush off. Like, I think what I think, but does it matter? Do I need to tell you?
Yeah.
No. And I heard Mike Todd say, he's a pastor, and he said, having a fence is like building a literal fence around your heart, because after a while it just hardens you and it makes you this bitter, yucky person, because you're like calling out all these people and not actually contributing anything good or anything helpful and pushing things forward. And if you really have an opinion about how somebody's doing something and it's hurting, you think it's hurting the community or hurting Hawaiians, then why don't you do something to counteract that? You know, because you can kill it with love. You can kill it with good things.
You can't kill it with hate.
No, you can't.
Hate doesn't drive out hate.
You can't. And so many people complain constantly. And I've never been more exposed to people who complain constantly than in this year. Because nothing is ever right, you know?
I think damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Totally.
I mean, with this space, we get all kinds of different messages. Not just about me, but about certain things people say on the podcast. Because the clips just go viral. Like, it goes to, a lot of people see it. And if people in Hawaii see something that we're talking about that isn't necessarily pro Hawaii, it's a new perspective, then they get mad if people not from here, they're learning about like the overthrow or whatever, and then they're just like, poor Hawaiians complaining. It's like, depending where you are in life, what you know, the level of education, something's gonna bother you. So if we can just be like, take everything with a grain of salt, just be like, we're listening to this, we're gaining perspective, we're gaining experience, but like, let's continue on with our life. Let's live the life that we want to live, and not worry about everybody so much, because it's like, it's so annoying.
You ever heard the saying, live for their praise, die by their criticism?
No, but that's good.
Yeah, another pastor thing my pastor says. But I learned that, like, you think about it, you're like, oh, that's so good. But I've had to take that a step further and realize even the positive comments and the positive feedback people give me, if you're not in my trusted circle of like, I value your opinion because I know your character and I know you know me, I have to just wipe it off, which is new, because I used to get, when I first started, right, came out of nowhere, sharing my story about my mom. People are like, you're so great, all this stuff. And I let it build me up because it was positive. And it wasn't in an ego way. It was just like, wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
It's nice.
Right. And then the shoe drops and you get all this criticism after about how I can be better, what I'm doing wrong, how this should look, that I'm too heavy, that I don't look like how I'm supposed to look. And then I'm like, oh, and it tore everything down. So now I don't even really take the compliments totally to heart unless I really know you, especially on social media. People are like, haha, you're so funny, with my unhinged thing. And I'm just like, okay, you can't, I almost don't let it get to me, because I don't want to be in a position again where one bad comment is gonna tear you down. But we're in control of the voices in our head. We decide what we give volume to, but that is discipline. We don't always like discipline our mind and separate things out. We just kind of let anything come in and then decide to have an opinion about it, decide to have an emotional reaction to it. But now I'm trying to like be preemptive and be like, what am I allowing into my space, into my mind?
That's good. That's really good.
I'm learning.
Yeah, as we should always be learning in life. I think with the whole social media space, it's hard not to get like sucked into it and want to read it. But I think at the end of the day, if you know who you are, if you're confident in yourself, you're secure, nothing anybody says is going to affect you. Like, I like to read it. Like, it doesn't affect me. I say that in a way where I try not to take it personally. And it doesn't affect me in the way, like, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I'm going to, like I said, it's annoying. It's annoying. Like, I guess in that sense, like, it bothers you in a way. But, like, you just like, that's okay. And then you just go on with the rest of your day. I think just not letting it linger, because it's okay to feel, it's okay to like get upset in the moment, it's okay to do these things, but don't let that affect the rest of what you're gonna do or the way you affect others. Like, I don't like when people are having a bad day and then they take it out on you. Just because you're having a bad day doesn't mean the rest of the world needs to have a bad day. So yeah, I learn a lot from the space that we're in about others, even about myself. But I feel like I'm the Hulk, the Hulk who, there's that one scene in the Avengers when they're like, how do you like control it? He's like, cause I'm always angry. I feel like that. I'm always chill, calm, and happy because I'm just always annoyed. And I feel like the more empathy you have, the more you understand the world, the more you learn, the more annoyed you get by everybody. And even yourself, because you're like, that's so annoying, but I kind of understand because
the default changes. You're like, okay, whatever. People are gonna irritate me. You're gonna say things that are crazy and like not and super rude, but I know
where it's coming from. I know it's projections. I know and you're just like, I'm just too nice now because I understand the psychology of it all.
Well, the more exposure you get to people, you realize that is the baseline. That is the default of people. And usually like when they're nice, like that is kind of rare sometimes. I've learned recently, everybody has an agenda. Every single person, whether it's a good agenda or not. Say like me helping somebody in a pageant or helping them, giving them a pep talk, right? My agenda may just be to use what I've shared or what I've learned and share it with them so that they don't have to deal with that, or that they can maybe learn that lesson sooner. But other people, the agenda might be a little bit more self-centered. And I've learned that about pageants, like,
which is probably something that's pretty common in that space.
And I went into it trusting everybody, right? everybody had a voice, and I thought, I'm new to this space, so I'm just going to believe all these people. But then it starts contradicting each other, and I'm like, well, what am I really left with? But now, if you're like voluntarily involved in pageants and helping, already I'm like, I don't trust you, and there's a red flag, and I think that you have an agenda. And that had to become my new baseline. A lot of them are good people who just want to help these women, you know, but I've learned to like, okay, you kind of have to prove it first, because there's so many people that have wrong agendas that cover it up with different ways. No shade, no tea.
Yeah.
But
yes. This is a great conversation. I have to shishi, so we're going to take a quick shishi break.
Okay.
And we'll get right back into it with social media questions.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll
fabulous.
be right back. What if we told you the next 3 times you fill your tank, you could save money? Well, at Texaco in Hawaii, it's true. You can get $1 off per gallon on your next 3 visits when you download the Texaco app and join Texaco Rewards. Earn points on every fuel transaction and qualifying in-store purchases at participating Texaco stations. Download the app and join to get started today. Visit TexacoHawaii.com for details. We're back from a quick shishi break. Well, let's get right into the social media fan questions. We got a bunch, okay?
Are you sure it was just Shishi? You were in there 10 minutes. Just kidding, he wasn't.
Just exposed me, huh? The shishi break was like 30 seconds, and the off podcast conversation was like another 20 minutes.
Yep.
All right. Basically, what we talked about is making the star into an actual star.
Whoa.
Yeah. Literally, like an actual star up in space.
Yes.
Yeah. We're not talking about just
yeah,
like
they have
fame.
helmets for that now. Yeah, no, it's cool. Elon Musk.
Hit us up. Okay. First question comes from Instagram808. This person says, who created her Miss America evening gown?
Oh, that was Miyuki Liam.
Miyuki Liam.
Yep, she's a bridal designer and had made my first dress for Miss Chinatown. It was this beautiful cheongsam, and I had gotten introduced to her through somebody else. And yeah, she doesn't make gowns. She only does wedding dresses.
Wow.
And so that was a really fun project for both her and I.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Next question comes from Brittany Caitlin. Yeah, mutual friend.
Mm-hmm.
She says, what do you want to see added or taken away from the Miss Hawaii / Miss America org?
Ooh,
great question.
It's a phenomenal question. Added or taken away. We were talking earlier about analyzing and experiencing, you know, and so much of that is still percolating because I've been healing on my own. But then to look at the org, you know, that's another thing. Added, I would love to see a bigger presence of the former Miss Hawaii's in the organization to help support that girl, because, you know, everybody has an agenda, and like the people in the org, like their agenda is to keep the org running, you know, and sometimes there are moments when I was just kind of left to my own devices, which is on me too. It's no shade on them. But I think nobody understands that process like a former Miss Hawaii. And we can even expect things that she might not see, you know, and even in the last week with the formers in town, giving, like whispering in my ear and giving me advice about certain things, how to process the end of my reign has been so powerful. And so had we had like almost like a headquarters or like something that was constant, getting together with the formers, that would be phenomenal. And
is there a training like when you win or like when you're about to?
Not really.
That'd probably be good because, you know, when we go to the Peace Corps, we have training like how to cope with stuff, you know, safety, security, whatever, language, cool. Cross-cultural. And then when we leave, there's a reintegration training that we have to go through, because you're like going from, you know, a developing country back to like normal society. There's a lot of things that you have to go through. So, you know, I can see it with, you know, you're at this really high point of your life. If you don't have anything going on, it's like you're just like going back to like a normal person.
All
so
of a sudden you're nobody, right?
There's like a lot of things that you have to work through, and you have to reintegrate into this, you know, kind of life.
Yep.
So I feel like if they had some sort of training,
that would be so good. Like, that had nothing to do with the outward parts of it, but all to do with the girl.
Yeah,
you know? So if someone prepared me, and like we said, you can't be prepared unless you go through it. You're not going to really learn. But I think that would be really, really useful. Yeah,
all the Miss Hawaii comes for like a coffee talk.
Yes,
just to, like,
yes. Or even, you know, like
share their experiences.
Different seasons of different people's lives are different. I said different 5 times. But our seasons are always different. So it could also change out the Miss Hawaii's that helped that girl through her year. Almost like a mentorship, you know, where they're there and walk you through it. And there's some kind of standardized curriculum of, this is what we went through. This is what you might go through. We're a sounding board if you ever need. Because sometimes you don't know which way is up and which way is down. And just was like, I felt like I was just floating around. Like, I don't know what I'm doing.
And sometimes you don't know what you need until
absolutely.
like somebody brings it up. Or like they bring up like, hey, you might be going through this. You might go through this. So heads up, you know, at least you're aware. Yeah. So.
And the formers were around. I don't want to make it seem like they weren't. But having something integrated to the system.
Yeah, I think more intentional.
Yeah.
Instead of just like, hey, like we're around. Like you can ask us whatever you want.
Because you don't know the questions to ask.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. That's a great answer. She has a bunch of questions.
Oh, okay, Britt.
Okay. Next one is worst date experience.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna guess there's a funny story. That's why.
No, totally funny story.
Are you dating again?
Yeah. Okay. I'm thinking about it.
Okay, think about it. Okay.
I'm like 2.5 months single.
Okay.
And I'm realizing a lot of like what I want my like husband to be, because I'm more of an intentional dater.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to just date around for fun.
You need a hammer.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm almost
because you're strong. You're strong.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. But a lot of other strong women have more like subdued men. But I need someone who is like, we say this a lot in church, like is the thermostat, like sets the tone for the room, and can like kind of even me out too, you know. But I'm thinking like I want like a really big guy. I'm almost like thinking I want like a Maori husband. Yeah. You know.
You're 5'10", right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to feel petite and small.
Yeah. You don't want to be big spoon.
I don't want to be big spoon. I don't want it to even be physically possible. That's how much I don't want to be big spoon. Yeah. What was the question?
Yeah. So you, worst date experience.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Yeah. Basically, you need like an athlete. You need like a.
Okay. I always grew up thinking I was going to be an NBA wife. Yeah. Just something about it.
Totally. I could totally see that.
I was like, that's me, right? Yeah. We don't have an NBA team here, and
we barely have men over 6 feet here.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So that's difficult in its own, right? So who knows? Maybe there will be a visitor, or I'll go somewhere and meet this amazing man.
Yeah, maybe when we launch your career, you know, somebody will slide into you, a very nice, handsome, intelligent, emotionally intelligent, Jesus-loving man will slide into your DMs.
Yes.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, fabulous. Yeah. But the date, okay, this is actually really funny. I was in college. Will you bleep out a name if I tell? Do you bleep out names?
We can, or you can just not. You can how about we just use a different name?
Okay.
We'll say Charlie.
Well, it's not the fact who he is what is funny about it.
Okay.
It's a small little thing. Okay. Anyway, I'll just tell it to you.
Okay.
So I go on this date, and I was in college, and I had only ever had boyfriends. This is really the only date that I had ever been on that didn't become my boyfriend. You know, I kind of just become friends with these people. If we go on one date, like I'm dating you. I didn't know how to do that, like date around. Yeah, so this is the only date I've ever been on. And he was really into me. But he was kind of, I don't know how to say, like off. You know, not really friendly. He has a famous father.
Okay.
So he was, if you can imagine, just thought he was like.
All that.
Unaware.
Kinda,
Exactly.
yeah.
So we go out, and he's just thinking that he's the most like suave, like whatever, right? Like full Gucci printed everything. And I'm like, but at the time I was like, okay, like I'll go after all this time, right? I was finally single. I went, okay, I'll go on a date with you. Like weird conversation. I felt slimy. I hope he never sees this. I feel bad. It's just kind of slimy, just like not a fit, right? We go to see this movie, which was Crazy Rich Asians. It was the first time I'd ever seen this movie. And one of the first times I realized Hawaii is so much Asia. Like, because I was looking at this, having an emotional, spiritual experience, thinking, oh my God, like we don't see this. Because we go around and it's all Asian people. So I'm having this emotional, spiritual experience, right? And he's trying to like come at me and like make out with me, right? We're in the Uber home. Theater? Yes, but I was like, okay, stop. Also, he picked the seats first row on the bot like this.
What?
Yes, I was like.
So everyone can just see you making out?
No, gross, right? But also, like, why would you want to sit like this?
I
where
know.
the TV is like, just.
No, and other spots were open. Like, was it a packed theater? I understand if like that's the only thing.
I don't know.
But I'm just like, if those are the only available. It's like, let's go do something else. Let's watch a different movie.
I would just say not this.
Yeah.
Because how do you even watch it? My neck was so sore.
Also, guys, first date, never take somebody to the movie. Like, talk to them, get to know them.
Exactly.
Also, don't go to the movies to like go in your car if you want to do it. Like, movies are expensive.
Yeah, you want to watch the movie.
I want to eat popcorn.
No, exactly.
I don't want to be making out with anybody there.
Touching on my hand, like all this stuff. I was like,
okay, yeah, maybe like a cuddle or whatever. Maybe when they're your girlfriend or something. But like, there's so many better options, guys.
And because he's just trying to like take you out and then go home and do something else.
My analytical, logical side just like,
it doesn't make sense.
You pay for the movie, watch it.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Best date ever for like, I feel like any woman, picnic, right? Go pick everything up.
Girls love picnics. Guys,
girls love picnics.
We don't understand it. We don't understand why they want to go on walks, why they want to do a picnic, just sit down on the beach. Yeah. We don't understand it, but they love it. So just do it.
Even the bougiest girl, you think she wants to be wined and dined? She does, but she wants to know what you're about first. And nobody's like coming and interrupting you. It's not awkward. You don't have to order. You don't have to have a bill. It's like very just neutral space. One of the best dates I ever been on was a beach date. And it was great. And it was like a picnic, fabulous.
Take
wine.
Notes,
it was awesome. He even brought this like little table. You know, it wasn't just like on the ground. And he had like wine glasses and cutlery. It was like very well thought out. It also shows
effort.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes. Yeah. So anyway, we get into the Uber and he's like kisses me and his tongue is all the way down into my. I was just like, and it was gross. And then, you know, that was the end of the day. I'm like, okay, we're not doing that again. I'm walking back to my apartment one day from school with a guy friend of mine, just a friend I'd had for a while.
Sorry to interrupt. Wait, is this here or is this in DC?
Mainland. Okay. Not here. Yeah. And this guy just happened to go to my school and like the dad was super famous, right? So I'm just walking back and he sees us, I guess. I didn't see him.
Yeah.
And I get a text. Wow. So now you're seeing other guys, huh? I was like, we went on one date like a week ago. And he said, can I see you again? I went, I don't think so. Like, maybe. So that was the worst experience I'd ever had. Like of hyper masculine, just like yucky. Sorry to that man. I hope you don't see this. I'm sure he's very kind on the inside.
Yeah. I think certain people are right for certain people.
Yeah. And also when you're in college and you're raised with a lot of money, like I don't blame you for kind of acting like that because you don't know better. That's just how you are.
Yeah.
You'll learn over time.
Yeah.
But for me, not it.
I don't blame any people under 25 for anything that they do because their brain isn't developed. Yeah. Like my thing is just like, that's just how they're going to be. Your brain is developing. I didn't have my stuff together, you know, when I was that age, I was in the Peace Corps. I was learning. I was still discovering. But I'm just saying, like, people were learning. Yeah, so I get it. Still don't be a bad person. Try not to be a bad person. Try not to, you know, do weird stuff. Just be aware. But, you know, people mature at different ages. Yeah. Yeah. But, yeah, bad date experience. Hopefully you have none of that.
I've only told like a couple people that, and now I'm mortified that it's going to be on.
Oh yeah, millions of people are going to see this.
Yeah, at least I didn't say any kind of thing. So
the good, I would say the positive thing from this is that I'm totally seeing like the whole Call Her Daddy vibe right now.
Oh my god!
I could totally.
Hi, Daddy Gang.
Yeah. I think you have a career. Yes.
And she snagged a great husband. Yeah. So I'm like. Yes. That could be me.
But stuff like that, being vulnerable, sharing experiences like that not a lot of people share, I think it's really powerful. And I think there's a market for that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
It makes me sick to my stomach only because if that guy saw it, I would hate for him to realize that it was a terrible date because of that. But also.
But then maybe he learns.
Yep. True.
Maybe he learns. True that. I think people need to be checked.
Absolutely.
I hear people complain about people all the time. I'm just like, this person needs to get punched in the face at some point in their life. No, for real. Like that's like the only way they're gonna learn, especially people that come from privilege and money. I hear people. I have friends and whatever that talk about like another person. They're like, yeah, they're like this and I'm like, did you try to tell them? Yeah, I do, but like they don't get it. I'm like, they honestly just need to get punched in the face one day. Some people just need that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some people need to get called out. Yeah, so. Maybe if he sees this, he would be like, wow, maybe I shouldn't be a slimy, rich kid.
Yes.
With a famous dad.
I know,
You know?
I know. And he used to walk into dorm rooms. This is what I heard from my friends. We were like freshmen. He would walk in and like see what they were drinking, be like, this is all you have, walk out.
Oh, yeah.
And people just used to let him in because they're like, oh, that's so-and-so's son. And so it felt like, whoa, really, really cool.
Yeah.
I didn't even know this person had a son.
Yeah.
And they look really similar.
Okay.
So
Well,
like,
you know, after this podcast, I'm 100% asking you
yeah,
who it
I'll
is,
tell
right?
you who it is.
Okay.
And you're going to be like, no way.
Okay. All right. Next question comes from... Well, Brittany has a bunch, but let's go to the next person. Sorry, Brittany.
Sorry, Britt. We love you.
Next question comes from Kylie Ewan, who I think is also part of the, that same organization. She says, what is your most memorable experience at Miss America?
Whoa. Okay, you know what I can say now? Okay, this is so funny. One of my most memorable experiences, we were in like practice for the health and fitness phase, and we had these tiny little shorts. They're like bedazzled shorts, right? And we had to do this full dance, which was kind of really sexy. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna get camel toe. Like it's just unavoidable. And so in swimsuit, like we use like sticky Elmer's glue to hold it down, but nothing kind of stops it from like camel toe. I didn't really know. I had tried to buy like underwear that has like it's like firm, so nothing happens. This might be a TMI.
Or the little pad things that they put in like
right,
bikinis.
something. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly, for the shoots. And I have one of my friends comes up to me and goes, "You just have to duct tape it." And I go, "Duct tape what?" She goes, "You duct tape your labia together and you just boom with real duct tape." And I was like, cool.
There's
so
no
we're
other
all
options?
there. That's what I thought. She's like, you'd be surprised because you think it's going to hurt, but then once you do your workout thing, it'll just kind of slide off after. So we all were duct taping our coochies together closed first stage.
The more you know.
Yeah. So
yeah, secrets of Miss
and
America.
It really is a secret. I was like, is this what they're doing? She came from a state, I won't out her.
Yeah.
She's phenomenal. She came from a state that's very pageant, so she knew what she'd been talking about. She'd been doing pageants since she was young. She's like, this is what we do. Like the last Miss so-and-so told me this. And I was like, yeah. And it worked. And it didn't hurt when it came off. It was just like, yeah.
I guess it's kind of similar to getting waxed.
Not even, because when you take it off, it's like, you kind of sweat naturally.
Oh, I see what you... Yeah. Like if you use duct tape and it's like moisture, it just kind of like...
Yeah, because duct tape won't stick, right, when it's wet.
Yeah.
So it wasn't sore at all to take it off.
Oh, it's almost temporary because like it's dry, it sticks. And then once it's the moisture, it just like slides right off.
Exactly.
That's kind of genius.
Exactly. Yeah. I wouldn't do that like going to the gym.
Yeah.
But for that, it's perfect. And then you glue down the shorts too with like this roll-on glue, like or spray on Elmer's, and it won't move.
I'm happy I know this now because I can tell other people. They're like, how do you know that?
Yeah.
Just trust me.
And to prevent
I'm a guy.
camel toe,
Trust me.
Yeah.
Women, just listen to me. I'm a guy. I know about your body. Totally.
No, exactly. That is.
And they'll take that totally fine, right?
Yeah. They would really be like, you do know more about my body
Exactly.
than me.
Because I'm a guy.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm glad I gave you that info so that you can spread it to the masses.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, I hope nobody clips this and clickbaits people and cancels me.
Yeah, that's the best. Canceled.
I'm kidding, people. I was gonna say something else about that. Wait, so that was your best experience, most memorable experience?
That's the first one that pops up because I remember going, where the am I? What am I? I'm literally standing there, legs apart, duct taping my body shut, going, what am I doing? But it's funny.
And you gotta make sure you shishi before.
Totally.
Right?
Okay, and I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
They were like not doing it. I'm like, I want to try this out, right? And then I was like, we still had an hour to go on, and I went, I can't do anything about that. So that whole time I had to pee really bad.
Just hold it in.
Exactly.
Now I remember what I was gonna say. It reminds me of John Tucker Must Die.
Yes.
And the guys had to where they were wearing the thongs and then they could like jump really high.
Yep.
It's one of those secrets. Power. Yeah.
It's a secret.
Yeah. Okay, mahalo for sharing. Kylie follows up by saying, Star, I love being next to you at Miss Hawai'i. Mahalo for your kind heart and inspiration.
Oh, love you.
Will you run in another pageant?
Absolutely not.
One and done.
One and done.
Go off riding on the horse into the sunset.
Yeah, I get approached a lot about like going to do USA. And honestly, if I thought I could, I would. In the sense of if I thought I could do it and be unfazed by it and not have it rock my world, I would try. But also, I don't feel the need to, because I did this for my mom, and I love how it translated my life into maybe, starting my own podcast or doing more things in front of camera, because I was always behind. But the competition aspect of that and the perfection, and it's just such a thin line of sanity and insanity that I don't know so when I say I could if I would, I could if I knew that I could walk that line and never dip back into insanity, because it can be fun. Like the glitz and the glam, it's like, and now that I can do my walk, I'm like, yes, slay, work. But I don't know that I want to put so much of that energy into maintaining the line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And a year of service.
Brutal. And USA is different. It's not so much a year of service. It's like a year of modeling and all that. And modeling was never my vibe.
Yeah.
I never wanted to be a model. And I've done some modeling things that's fun. But, I mean, I really admire, like, Kanoi, like, what she does to make money off of what you look like. So much, I feel like that's emotionally dangerous for me. And I grew up really chunky. So, like, I got bullied a lot as a kid. I wouldn't say a lot. I would say it was just a part of, like, my experience being judged for being a little chubbier. And I definitely internalized a lot of that insecurity. Everyone put they're all Asians. They're all skinny, prepubescent, skinny Asians. I wasn't with, like, polys, you know? So nobody kind of looked like me, and I was just kind of regular sized. But all that to say,
well, you're also pretty tall.
Always taller. I was, like, this tall in, like, the 6th grade, you know? And they're all, like, 5 feet.
Yeah.
So, which is hilarious now. But when I look back, or at least on this year, a lot of my childhood insecurities is what I had to confront, you know, and I'm over that, but it's also still there. It's not totally erased, especially when everybody thinks that they get to have a say in what you look like. Because they think, because you went on the stage to be judged by those 6 people, you're also out here putting yourself to be judged by the world, which is not it.
Yeah, I don't think our insecurities ever go away. I think we just learn how to handle them and accept them. Yeah. And especially when you're in a space where you're literally being judged for how you look, how you talk, etc. Yeah, it's a lot. Takes a lot of confidence, and you know, it's a very brave thing. So,
but here's the thing,
everybody that does
when I became a title holder, everybody, like, a big part of it is maintaining that girl's confidence, because as soon as she cracks, like, it's done, you know. And I definitely did crack, but what I really didn't like too about that is I didn't like when people were so obnoxiously honest, you know, unsolicited advice. But I also had never been around so many yes men who weren't honest with me.
Yeah.
Because then you just are like, well, who's supposed to help? Who's in my corner to tell me the truth? You just feel like they're just trying to gas you up. They're just trying to make you keep your confidence. But you're like,
oh, okay, you look so great. You're so pretty. Oh, yeah. What you're saying is amazing.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, don't worry about it. It's like, no, I'm worried about it. Like, I'm looking for advice. But if you would just not say it like, that was terrible, you know?
You need a fine line, like a better balance.
Another fine line.
Yeah.
So that's why it's just so hard, because yes, I want advice, but I also would like somebody to be graceful about it. But sometimes you can't always be super nice. You gotta be straightforward. Yeah. So it's this, like, give and take weird thing. And I'm super hard-headed and super, like, upfront, but I'm learning to, like, sandwich feedback too with compliments, you know?
Yeah.
Where
that's how you're supposed to do. Two positives and then negative, you gotta sandwich it. Yeah.
Exactly. Where sometimes I don't do that, and sometimes I don't always want it. I want you to just tell me, because I feel patronized a little bit after so many things, you know. It's like, just tell me what you think.
Yes.
But
I think that comes down to communication too, learning how to communicate our needs, because we don't want to be like, hey, give it to me straight. You don't want to have to, you kind of just want people to, like, do it regularly, you know, because once you ask, it kind of defeats the purpose. Like, if you're in a relationship, you're like, hey, can you do this nice thing for me? Like, and it kind of defeats the purpose. You want somebody to kind of just do that, right? But we have to think of that, like, outside of relationships as well, is communicating our wants and needs and boundaries. So it's like, hey guys, for real, just, like, give it to me straight, but, like, approach it in a gentle way. Yeah.
And I'm getting used to and learning how to create an environment where people feel like they can give me feedback, because I'm really intense too. I wonder, like, some people get afraid to bring it up. And that's something that I've had to deal with too. It's like, how do I create a space where you feel comfortable enough to talk to me? Totally. Because I'm such an emotional reactor, where I say things and it might really affect you, but it didn't mean anything to me. But my words don't always translate. And that's where I've learned that communicating is really about you. It's not about me. It's about how I'm talking to you, what you're going to receive. So anyway.
Yeah, I could totally see you being like, oh yeah, no, just give it to me straight. I'm totally cool. And they tell you and you're just like,
no, I'm literally like, get out.
Yeah. Are you sure? just leave.
Yeah. Seriously. All defensive. Yeah.
That's
I'm
funny.
not perfect.
None of us are. Okay, next question comes from Ronnie6070 Ronnie. This person says, what's the first thing you do for yourself to start your day off right?
Well, I like to have a little worship sesh. So my alarm clock goes to like the Jesus channel. And then I'm not always good about it, but starting my day in my Bible is super important to me. That's like my whole identity is wrapped up in Jesus, and that's the grounding part for me. So starting that way, my day is always better. It recalibrates, you know, so like things of the world don't dictate my day. And then coming up with an agenda is like a game changer for me, because I became victim to my feelings this past year, and I've had to take days and look at it like facts versus feelings, because I would feel like I did nothing, I'm doing nothing, I'm so unproductive, I'm failing at this. But if I have an agenda, and at the end of the day I look, well, you did this, so you might feel like you did nothing, but you accomplished 4 things. So like being really literal and tracking it for myself has been really helpful.
Yep. To-do lists are great. Yeah. Have you read Atomic Habits?
No, but I have that book.
That's a good book. Yeah. Talks about effective over efficient.
Ooh,
when you talk about
good.
to-do
That's
lists,
good.
you know, instead of just like writing a bunch of things down just to check it, but like what are the actual 3 main things that you have to do today? You know, get those done, and then, you know, you feel a lot more.
Yeah, because I used to make a whole list of everything I have to do for the rest of my life, but you never finish the list.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
you have to choose one thing for the day.
Yeah, so stuff like that. Okay, next question comes from D Kokamoto7. This person says, what are you going to do next? Come to Paris Miki and bring your autograph pictures.
Oh, okay. So I've been going to Paris Miki to get my glasses since I was 10 years old.
I don't know what that is. Is that, I'm going to guess it's not in Paris.
No.
Okay.
It's in Ala Moana. It's right next to Asagio's downstairs.
Oh, okay.
They're an optical place.
Yeah.
Japanese, like, and that's where my mom always got her glasses there. I've always got my glasses there. They are like my number 1 fan supporters. They're so good. The next thing for me, I'm telling people, okay, I used to not share this, right? Because there's such a level of shame and like, what are you doing next? Like you said, ride the momentum. But this year really took it out of me as like a regular person, not prepared for what this would bring. So I am what I call my sabbatical year. I have a regular 9-to-5 job that I adore because it has nothing to do with me, Miss Hawai'i, nonprofit. There's like basically no pressure.
Yeah, you don't got to think when you go home. You clock in, clock out.
Yeah, and I've been doing it for a couple months, and it's been really healing for me and cathartic because my creative juices are bubbling again, which is a couple weeks into that job is when I started the TikTok. And so things just like, it's all naturally progressing, and I think it's exactly where I'm supposed to be for now, and that's kind of what's next. But projects are in the mix. Okay. Perhaps.
We can't know anything about it.
No, literally the podcast we were talking about earlier.
Oh, okay.
I said ideas, project ideas. Okay. But I noticed if you just allude to it, people are like, "Oh wow," but it could be nothing.
Okay, all right. Stay tuned.
Yeah, but I just outed myself for that.
No worries. FBFR Films.
Fight Eye. Yeah.
Says shout out to Fight Eye. Get them on the podcast at some point.
Yeah, come on. You get all of the Richmonds.
Yeah.
That'd be so good.
They're on my list. I'm waiting for the right time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need a bigger couch.
I know.
You know, so you know Leohu? His sister.
No.
Oh, you never met her?
I've only met Fight Eye recently, like last year, end of last year.
So his sister works on film too, and she and I guess we're both tall, kind of the same build, and everyone, when we had masks on, everyone thought that I was her and that she was me, which is funny. She's stunning, so it was such an honor. But yeah, that she's my alter ego. That's
funny. Yeah, he has a bunch of siblings, and they're all kind of in the same.
Yeah, they all do it. Incredible.
Yeah, awesome. He asked, "What is your ultimate goal in life, career-wise, and in personal life?"
Huh. That's a good one.
We'll let you know when I figure it out.
Right? You know what's so funny, and I think about this a lot. Once, he's an incredible, actor, stunt guy, director, and we were working out at the same gym for a while, Ikaika Fitness, when I was training for Miss Hawai'i, Miss Chinatown. And he was like building his career up. He's like, look at you, like you're doing the things and you're on stage and you could do that. And I look at him and I go, I mean, who would ever want to be famous? Like, that's not what I'm into, and now I do so many like in front of camera things, and it's a gift. But I remember that conversation going, I don't want that, because you don't want the attention, because it comes with so much other things, right?
Yeah.
But that aside, my goal in life is to just create. I realize that is such a passion of mine, whether it's like content, which is hard because social media is hard for me. But I just like to brainstorm. I'm like the creative director of my life, as I say. And I think that's definitely my lane. And I think that can manifest in a lot of different jobs. So I don't know that I have just one thing. And I've always wanted to produce, but in the ways I've seen production or like producers, I don't know that I want that lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's such a sacrifice. And I know you have to sacrifice for the big things. But I want to have a family and be able to come home to them and be a part of their lives. And I don't know that is the norm for like film producers.
You want to create your own schedule and have your freedom.
Exactly.
I think the biggest thing too is just freedom.
Freedom. Yeah.
Wake up when you want, do what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I think that's where we're in our pocket. Like me being a Jesus girly, for the girlies. When, if we're made in the image of our Father, who's the ultimate creator, does that not make us creators too? And I think it's so beautiful when we see people in the pocket of creation and creating things. That's where we see their passion, and people come alive there. And I think it's just so cool to have that biblical reference of like, well, you are made to create. But sometimes that's creating a space like in your home for your family, or like a safe place in corporate America, whatever it is. But I think we're all made to create in one way or another.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, we're all creators. Some are content creators. Some are baby creators. Some are, all kind.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, next question comes from Hunter Gregory _ This person says, best sash she received in Sydney.
Okay, this is a funny story. So Hunter is one of the managers at Maybe Sammy, which is like a really well-known cocktail bar in Sydney, Australia, which I had the pleasure of traveling to a bunch because my cousin goes to school there. And so I always make it a point to stop over, and I make friends with them, and I told them that I'm Miss Hawai'i and I'm traveling. And so I was at the bar, and they bring out this like paper receipt. Like, you can press a button and the receipt comes out like blank. And it says, I think it said Miss Sydney, or maybe it said Miss Hawai'i, I don't remember. And literally taped it to my shoulder. And I was in the bar the whole night with like this paper sash.
That's so funny.
And it was awesome. And it's a nice place. Like it's like a very fancy cocktail bar, and they'd won so many awards for their service and the cocktails, but it was hilarious. It was the best sash. I think I still have it.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Should have brought it.
I know. That's the only sash
we'll
I
make
can
you
wear
a new
now.
one.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so shout out to Hunter. Next question comes from _shy lav. This person says, was being Miss Hawai'i everything you expected?
Oh, it was nothing I expected. I don't know what I expected. I didn't realize what was happening until yesterday, even when I gave it up. I just let myself ride the ride. And the expectation was really just, I guess, notoriety. Like I expected people would see me at least in a different way. And it was true. All of a sudden you get put into this label of Miss Hawai'i, and everybody around you changes the way that they look at you. I think I got a little bit more respect in my family, which was cool, and not in a shady way. But even they're like, whoa.
It's a big accomplishment.
Yeah, because coming from like being super, like I was always like a kid to them, to now being this person on stage who's like talking to younger kids. It's cool. And I think it just they put some respect on my name.
Put some respect on my name. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I'm happy to hear that. Last question. Oh, sorry. We got a couple more. One question comes from Bree _Kealohilani. She asked, is it required for Miss Hawai'i contenders to have Hawaiian ancestry / should it be?
Well, the answer is no. I am fairly certain, from what I remember when I was beginning to run, that the only requirement is that you have to be a resident here for at least 30 days. That's like a national rule. Yeah, national
30
rule.
days?
I believe you don't even have to be a citizen of the country. You just have to be here sponsored by your job. Like you have to have a visa and have lived here for 30 days to qualify for making your state. And you also don't have to be from here. You could be here like as a student. So we had people run last year who were just here for college, like in UH. which I think is kind of okay in continent. I think it becomes a much bigger question. We're talking about Miss Hawaii because that means so much more to the people here than Miss Nebraska. Love you, girl. But what that means to them, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of girls go from state to state kind of competing, hoping to get to nationals, or a handful of them at least. Should they? I think it's very rare for people to be of like Hawaiian descent now. And there's a lot of people who I think are local people through and through that are not Hawaiian. And I think that they can be spokespersons for local people. And I think it's important we have our Hawaiian voices too. But this year for Miss Hawaii, like they're incorporating a lot more about Hawaiian culture, and they had the girls weave their own lauhala bracelet that they wore on stage. And now our next Miss Hawaii, she'll be required to take Hawaiian language class, just to kind of know the people that she's trying to serve. I think Haley speaks Hawaiian a lot already.
Yeah,
so.
I remember I liked her last year too.
Yeah, I thought she was going to win last year.
She's one from Waimanalo or like Kaneohe or
Yeah.
or something.
I think she's from Kaneohe, but she's Miss Waimanalo this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that they called my name instead of hers. It blew my mind. So I'm.
Well, you were great as well. So.
Oh, thanks. It's just one of those timing things
Yeah.
because I didn't really know you don't know what you have. You know, you're doing your best. You know, but yeah, this year she was stunning, gorgeous.
So happy for her. I'm sure I'll meet her.
Yeah.
My work takes me everywhere, so I'm sure we'll cross paths.
Yeah, but that's such a controversial question. Like, should Miss Hawaii be Hawaiian?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't
think so. Yeah.
Hawaii's just not all Hawaiians.
Yeah.
If you think of it like that, I mean, we're made up of a diverse array of people.
And the Hawaiians are actually, I don't think, majority.
Yeah, none of it. We're all mixed plates.
Yeah. So when you think about what it, like representing the people here.
Yeah. Because it's Miss Hawaii, not Miss Hawaiian. I think, it's great. It's like a bonus if you are Hawaiian. I think at least local. Yeah. At least somebody who just didn't move here like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
My preference, But as long as they have good intention, then they represent Hawaii in a great way.
Yeah. Well, and I think we've had some Miss Hawaiis who are not from here, but like moved here and lived here and stay here. And, and I think that's really beautiful. Yeah. Because some people come and they go, oh, like this is everything. Yeah. And that's beautiful too. But yeah, I agree. Like at least have an understanding.
It hits different when it's somebody, when it's your own.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's so many things about being from here that people don't get from the continent. Yeah. Just even how we talk about race, and like certain conversations, it's not going to come off the same. Yeah.
So I agree. Great question. Last question comes from Kale Maiole. This person says, what story would you like to share as an aspiring film producer?
Oh, like a film I'd like to make? I honestly would just want to make more television for local people. I think everything that's shot here is not about locals, and it's not for our audience. Yet we have so many people tuning in looking for those kinds of stories. When you think about representation, it starts with seeing yourself on screen and then being like, oh, I could do that too. Just like with your podcast, like people are like, oh, wait, we're allowed to do that. Like there's a space for us. So I would want to make more mainstream TV or film that is like relatable to local people. Because right now it's either super ceremonial ancient Hawaii, which is awesome and cool, or shall I say cop shows, that is like, that's for the continent, which is big money. But there's money here. Like people will invest, and it's just a matter of coming up with that plan, I think. And I work a lot with ICANN, International Cultural Arts Network, Angie's thing.
I was at the workshop the other week. That's when we were talking stories.
And all about invigorating our film scene here and elevating Pacific Islanders and Native Hawaiians to have the experience to be able to like get onto these big shows and figuring out a way to pad our tax incentive to get more film here. Yeah. It's not just one aspect, right? It's all of these things coming together, building studio, making more space so that we eventually can create these shows for Hawaiian people. I don't think we have content that's for us.
Yeah, I think we need the infrastructure has to get better. Totally. And then, we can work on the other stuff. But again, going back to representation.
Yeah, it's major. It's major.
Yeah. Okay, well, mahalo everybody for the social media fan questions. Make sure you leave some for our next guest, and maybe a question will make it on the podcast. Okay, before we get to the back end of the podcast, I want to do a quick game. Okay. Presented by Texaco in Hawaii, okay? It's called Gas or Pass. We play it on the podcast all the time. Okay. If something's good, It's gas, you know. It's
Gas.
Gen Z lingo.
Yeah, okay,
You know,
okay.
pass, you don't like it. Okay?
Pass.
So I just got a couple things.
Okay.
We'll do it real quick. Gas or pass if Miss Hawai'i was a 2-year commitment?
Oh, pass. Well, I would say like gas and pass because you figure it out once. Like 1 year is the time to just figure it out.
Yeah.
And then you could do really well the second year, you know?
But it's just extra long.
Yeah, it's just extra long.
Yeah. Okay. Next one. Gas or pass? People talking on speakerphone in public.
Oh, pass. But you know what's so funny is like if I'm outside, I'll do that too. But like crowded area, I'm not
like
on
an
speakerphone.
elevator.
Like an elevator, I'm going to have to say pass.
Yes. I do my research.
Yeah.
I know your whole life. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. She had a TikTok where she was talking about this young boy in an elevator, crowded elevator, talking on speakerphone to his friends, like, hey, like, meet District.
Yeah. You find him at District every Saturday night, apparently.
Yeah. District, gas or pass?
Gas. No, pass. You know what's so funny? I've never even been to District.
I've been there twice. I'm not a going
I'm
out
like
person.
railing on it, right? But all my friends talk about it. I'm just like, it doesn't sound like my scene.
Yeah.
But to talk about it and then the TikTok blows up.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I never even been. So I was like, oh.
That's funny. But you have a general
You have an idea
of what
right.
these people
But I will say pass. Club
places.
scene is not for me.
Yeah.
I'm more of like a bar cocktailer
Yes,
conversationer.
No shade on District. It's just not your scene.
Yeah, if you're into District, slay, love it, go boo boo. Like, do it, love it.
Yes. You're more of a
Old person.
Pint and Jigger place.
Yes, actually, my favorite is upstairs, Signature Prime. Their
Okay, I've
happy
never
hour
been
is
there.
so good. Oh, you gotta go.
Yeah, okay.
Starts at 4:30. People get in line at 4.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Have you been to Gaslamp in Kailua? Have you heard of it?
Wait,
It's like a speakeasy kind of place. It's
I've
like
heard
a
of it,
secret.
but I haven't been.
Okay. I hope you meet a very wealthy, tall, young,
Yes.
hunky man. and
Maybe
he
not
takes you
young.
there.
Maybe not. Well, maybe not young as me.
Mature.
Mature. There we go.
28 years old.
I honestly think out of the 20, I think I might be past
30s.
the 20s. Yeah.
30s.
And I think my cap would be 38.
Okay, yeah. I
Yeah,
think it's 30.
30s and
My girlfriend, a lot of times she's like, wow, so this is what it's like dating a 30-year-old.
Dang, you'd be like, yeah, okay.
Like, yeah, you've been
Yeah, go
dating
get me my
boys.
cane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, in a good way. It's in the maturity level. of like,
okay.
yeah,
sure,
okay.
sure. Yeah.
I know I'm bust up, but that's not what I meant. Okay.
Yeah, he's had to get up and stretch every 10 minutes.
I got up limping for the shishi break.
Yeah. And I saw your denture cream in the bathroom.
Jordan, can we cut this out? As long as you didn't see the actual.
Yeah, the dentures are left there. Yeah, no.
Okay. Next one. Gas or pass? Guys who carry around huge jugs of water.
Okay, actually pass. And I actually was thinking about this the other day because I had to buy that for the hotel room. I bought one of those big ones. And I was looking at it like, those people that carry it around, it's like, just get out of my face. Like, you're hydrated, phenomenal. You know what I mean? But like, fill up a water bottle. You don't have to carry that big thing around. It's just irritating. And the worst part is when they fill it up. It's like, I'm all for using plastic, or like not using plastic. But when it's dingy, like those aren't meant to be refilled. Buy a gallon water bottle. They exist.
Buy a
Yeti.
hydro flask.
Yeah. But here's that's definitely a pass. But the gas is the gallon Yeti one with the big, huge handle.
Okay.
I'm like, he's hydrated.
Okay. It's nicer.
Yeah. Because those men, I've never met somebody that has the gallon Yeti who's under 6'3".
You need to be big. Those are heavy.
A big guy needs to carry that.
I don't carry that.
I know. Yours is like 20 ounces.
I'm right at 6 feet. I can barely carry anything bigger than, 20?
Yeah.
ounces,
Yeah. Well, the
whatever.
joints at your age, they just don't really.
You understand.
Yeah.
Yes.
I get it.
Okay, Kanoi. All right. Next question. Local boys with lifted Yodas and gold chains. Gas or pass?
Pass. But it doesn't mean I'm not looking. It doesn't mean I'm not like, oh. And I did say the other day, maybe I'm meant to start dating somebody with a truck. Like maybe this is my truck man era. I like a man who can do something around the house. Mm-hmm. Throw it in the truck, go off and do it,
Yeah.
But that guy is very like,
rare.
he's always under 6 feet.
Compensating with the gold
That's
chain
what I'm
and the
saying.
lifted Yoda.
Like
Yeah.
like that whole combination is not in my height range, if you know what I mean.
Tundra, not lifted, just a regular Tundra. F-150.
Boom.
F-150.
Now we're talking.
There
Ford,
we
we're
go. Ford
talking.
F-150.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Medium-sized chain.
Yeah.
That was given to him from his grandmother, who loved God. I just explained to her.
I'm getting really.
She's blushing
Can I have
right
a fan? Can I have a fan?
Lean a little to your left,
Yeah,
and then you feel the AC.
I need the draft. Wow.
Okay. Next one.
Plays basketball.
Yeah. Tesla's.
Owns a business.
Tesla's gas or pass.
Um.
And this is actually a multiple layer because Tesla, gas or pass.
So many puns. That's really great job. Are you a writer?
Sometimes.
I have to say pass. I enjoy driving the Tesla. And I like all the gadgets, but I don't have like the electricity at my house won't let me do a plug-in. Also, what happens if like the electrical grid shuts down? Like you can only go by gas, you know?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my family is like conspiracy doomsdayers. So I'm like trying to always prepare for like, gas stove, gas car, cash in the pocket, freezer dried air food. You never know what you need.
Okay. So,
but good for the environment. Like if you have a Tesla, slay.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying it's bad.
Yeah. What about those cyber trucks? I've been seeing them more recently on Oahu.
Okay, I feel like we're in Roblox. Like why did that become the truck? You went from like this really sleek Tesla to
Just like
a
bulky
construction truck.
Minecraft built.
Yeah, Minecraft truck. It's cool. I want to go inside of one, but I'm also like, is there something like the rich people know that is coming? You know, like some kind of, what is that called? Like zombie apocalypse?
Yeah.
It just feels like, okay, you guys know what's happening, you know?
Yeah. I'm pro zombie apocalypse, by the way.
Really? Say more.
Yeah. Well, I like Walking Dead. I like zombies, grew up watching Dawn.
Oh, you're not like saying it should come soon.
Oh, I'm not saying it should, but if there's a way the world ended, I would hope it's a zombie apocalypse because I wouldn't be opposed to it. I wouldn't be opposed to.
You feel like you could take on zombies?
Yeah.
No way.
I got my whole thing prepared, I know what kind of weapon I'm going to use.
No way.
I just watched the most recent Walking Dead spin-off. I just binge watched it this past weekend.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was good. I
need a new show, that's why.
Yeah. New show. You should watch anime.
I don't know about that. Do you watch Bob's Burgers?
No, but I know that one.
Okay, Bob's Burgers is my favorite show of all time.
Yeah. Tina.
I'm Tina.
Yeah.
Did
I
you put
can
that
see
together?
Yeah.
So my whole family, we're like specific people in that show, and it's just so our life. But super dry humor. I don't like adult animation.
Yeah.
It's not really for me. Family Guy, South Park just wasn't for me.
Yeah, yeah.
But they're so dry, and you like don't always pick up on it, and that's my sense of humor is dry.
Okay.
And some people who don't get me are like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I was kidding.
I hope your future husband is watching this. Because basically this is an episode of just like how to win star.
Yes. If you're trying to step to me.
Yeah. Like you're just giving everybody the blueprint of what you like and what you don't like.
Which is okay.
Yeah. So take notes.
Yeah.
Okay. If you think she has a symmetrical face.
Yes. And don't pay attention to this. This is like something happened with my spray tan, okay? It's not a birthmark, even though that would be cute.
I don't think anybody noticed it. Now they're going to notice.
Oh, shuck.
Yeah.
Here, I'm just going to.
Okay. Gas or pass? Gen Z.
Gas. Like, there's always tension with any generational gap, but they don't take crap from anybody. My baby cousins who are like my sisters, they're Gen Zers, and they teach me a lot. But yeah, sometimes I want to be like, shh. But yeah.
Okay.
It's all love. It's all love.
All love. Okay. Millennials, gas or pass?
Oh, for sure gas. Because nobody knows 90s R&B like a millennial.
Yep.
And that is my safe place. That's like where I come to thrive. Me and You by Cassie is on the daily repeat. It's just the vibe. Just for yourself. And Usher, come on.
I feel like millennials are like the last of the good ones.
Yeah.
And I'm super biased.
Yeah. It's just a good time. And I think what you're saying with good ones is like the old times, when it was just like good vibes, people vibing.
Before social media, you still played outside as a kid.
Yeah, that's the thing with Gen Zers is they're cool in new ways, but they don't connect like
no, they're
like
kind
we
of
can
weird.
connect.
My little brother's Gen, they're kind of weird.
Yeah, because it's so social media, and it's not even like on them. It's not even like you guys are weird. It's like, well, you try growing up on the internet, and everything is surrounded by that, and that is your main form of communication.
Yeah.
I'd be a mega weirdo. I'd be inept and not capable of talking to people. So,
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I get it.
Empathy. Okay, boomers, gas or pass?
Oh my gosh, gas. So gas. And sometimes they say the craziest stuff, but I think it's so interesting. One, you can learn so much about talking to people in other generations, and we get high maka maka because Gen Z is below us. But the boomers, like, I think that there should still be respect for the kupuna. They're not all kupuna, but like you can learn a lot. Even if they say things out of pocket, it's like, well, you lived in a different time, a really different time. And with social media, it's like massive change.
Definitely.
So I think that they still play cool stuff. I've been wanting to start playing mahjong again. I played with my bonus mom and her auntie, and we like go and play mahjong. Yeah, because bonus mom is better than stepmom. Like stepmom is like, nah.
I've heard something similar to that.
Yeah,
before.
but she's a bonus, so it's like bonus mom.
Yeah.
But then Elks Club, I'm trying to go play mahjong. They do it on Saturdays.
Okay.
So I'm like, yeah, the aunties know how to play. They're winning money too.
Okay. Well, again, just if you're trying to win her over, Saturdays, Elks Club, learn your mahjong, guys. Yeah. How funny would it be if you just end up finding somebody from this podcast?
That would be awesome.
Like they'll be like, I watched your podcast. You guys hit it off.
Wow. That would be like mahalo kea kua.
That'd be kind of a cool love story.
That would be super
and
cool.
For my ego, I just feel like I did that.
No, and it would we would get married just for your ego.
Yeah.
Just to make you feel
Thank
great.
you.
Yeah.
Yes, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Get engaged after like 2 months.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, totally. That is such a church thing. That fits really well.
Perfect. Okay, gas or pass, happy hour.
Oh, gas. That's like my favorite time of day. Happy hour. I don't even have to drink. Happy hour is the best time.
It's just an hour of pure happiness.
No, exactly. And the drinks are cheaper and you have a little poo-poo. I'm a poo-poo eater like that.
Yeah.
You know, I just like have a cocktail and nibble. So that's my best
You know what I wonder? It's called happy hour, but it's not just an hour, right? It's like 4 to 6 or I don't know.
Yeah, happy hours.
So should we be saying happy hours?
Well, when you're drinking, it feels like 1 hour.
Or if you drink too much, maybe it
feels like 10 hours.
10 hours.
That's a really good point. I'll take it to the council.
Okay.
And we'll discuss.
We'll be right back on our next episode. Speaking about happy hours. Okay, going out after 9 p.m. Gas or pass?
Pass. I wish I could. I really wish I could, but I can't.
Yeah,
it's not for me.
Tell. Okay.
You said you could tell?
I could tell, yeah. I know a homebody when I see one. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a girl that
she's one of us.
There was a girl that I had ran with when we first ran, and she's so sweet. But she looks at me and she goes, I feel like we're gonna like get into a lot of trouble together. Like we're gonna have a lot of fun. Like we're gonna go to the club. And I was like, no. And I was so awkward because I was like, yes, girl. And she leaves and I was like, oh my gosh, wait, no, I'm never doing that. She's super cool.
That's so funny. Girls be like that.
Yeah. They're like, oh my gosh, sis.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
La, la, la. Tita, let's go.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll be at home.
Yeah, us guys are just like, nice conversation.
Yeah, man culture is so crazy to me because growing up with just my mom and her gay best friend, like I'm so out of touch with like man culture, like how to like interact with men. It's like, what are you guys talking about? Like the grunts, and you like had a whole conversation. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, you just at a bar watching sports. You see that they're cheering for the same team. You're just like, yeah, good game.
And you're like, yeah, that's my best friend.
And then,
like,
they'll be like, oh, you know them? Oh, no.
Yeah. Exactly. Men.
Okay. Private school, gas or pass?
Ooh, such a gas. So much of, I think, what people like about me and communicating, and it was from Punahou. I felt really well-rounded by that education. And it was something, so my mom had gotten divorced, and that's where we had more money to pay for school, and it wasn't going to look like I was going to be able to go to school after that, like private school. But my mom was like, she's staying here because education was really important to her. And everyone was like, why are you doing that to yourself? You're making it harder. But she was like, no, she sacrificed everything so that I could keep going to Punahou. And it laid such a solid foundation for me. And no shade on public school. Like so many smart people don't even go to college. I don't think college is for everybody. But the people that I meet out in the world too, in the continent or jobs I have, I just noticed that my educational foundation has given me a step up in a lot of spaces, which I'm grateful for. And no tea, no shade, but definitely a gas.
Okay.
Am I supposed to like respond every time? Not really, right? Is this
no? Yeah,
rapid
you
fire?
can. Yeah, I do this and it brings up topics of conversation.
Oh, okay. I was like, sorry if I'm ruining.
Yeah,
this.
no. This is exactly how it's supposed to be. Okay, last one. Public school, gas or pass?
Ooh. Gas. That's so rude. Okay, here's what I actually do. When I became an adult, I wish that I had gone to public school for a little bit of time. I'm grateful for my foundation. Wouldn't have done it differently. But I also think that I would have been less insecure as a kid because I would have been exposed to different bodies, different culture. I think that I would have a better understanding of how much of a privilege it was to go to Punahou because I was always in that bubble. Mm-hmm. So that's what I wish that I had and envy when people with public school. I think that they just have a broader perspective on the world and struggles and different types of people. And I think we grow from exposure to people who are different than us, like you said earlier. So I think that happens more in public school. So I would say gas.
Yeah. I'm public school all the way. But I think the best is like... What? Jordan. Let's go to the next episode already. We're not going to post this one.
Yeah, pal.
I think half public, half private, I think is the best for me. Like if I had kids.
No, totally.
I would be like early childhood stages, public school, get to know a lot of people, private school, all the resources.
Okay, but here's where I almost feel like I would want public school right in the middle because early childhood education, I think, is so important. And
also private school.
I would preschool to like, I don't know, 4th grade. I would think private school just because that time is when their brains are most malleable. And I think like having the best resources for them the best like teachers and brains, and not that the best is always in private school because it's not, but really intentional there. Because I want my kids to be way smarter than I am. You know, I want to give them everything that I can. But yeah, I want them to like have that foundational. And then when they're old enough to understand the exposure without it being traumatic, you know what I mean? Like more of a middle school thing. Yeah. And then bring them back to get serious about college.
Yeah.
That's what I'd say.
But do you think the bouncing back and forth is going to be kind of hard, confusing?
Totally.
Because you go with some of your classmates to certain things, so you already have friends.
I agree. Because then maybe they don't want to go back, you know? But, and I don't have kids, and so I'm still kind of thinking about that. Yeah. But my bonus mom she's head of curriculum at Kamehameha School's Hawai'i Island, and I've learned a lot from her about how important it is for these young minds to be shaped and poured into, and how little things can change so much in the way that they'll continue to learn. Yeah. So maybe just because that's fresh in my mind, I think that's really important to me.
That's a good point.
So yeah.
Okay. Well, that's it. Gas or Pass presented by Texaco Hawaii. Thank you for playing.
Thank you, Texaco.
You win.
You know, they put Techron in their gas unlike any other station. And I've learned from my father that Techron is really good for your car. And that there's actually, you can add, like people used to add it themselves. But you can just go to Texaco and they do it for you. So that's better gas. I only go to Texaco, actually.
Not an ad.
Not an ad. That's real. That's real life. Yeah.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. People don't know that. It's actually, people tell me because I like to fill up at Costco. Yeah. It's the cheapest gas.
I used to too.
And then my uncle who works for a car dealership, he's like, once in a while, you can do that, once in a while, but it's not the best quality gas. Yeah. So go to like a Texaco, go to whatever. I mean, I'm not going to say any other gas stations. Yeah. But they go to Texaco because they have really high quality gas. And when I met with the Texaco people, they're explaining to me about that. It's like, it's really good stuff.
Yeah, because my dad always went to Costco. So I was always going to Costco. And then he's like, I don't go there. I only go to Texaco now because of the Techron.
Oh, wow. I didn't know. Sponsor her, Texaco.
Yeah. I'll be your spokesperson, Texaco.
We'll produce a podcast with you. We already got Texaco as a sponsor. We'll do the sponsor another podcast.
Can I have one of these? Yeah. That'd be cool. Because the star, it already makes sense.
Oh, my gosh. It's all aligned. We'll talk after this.
Yeah. Phenomenal.
Okay. So coming to the back end of the podcast, and I like to ask all of my guests the same question about keeping it aloha. In your life, how do you keep it aloha?
Phenomenal question. In pageants, they say never answer with, that's such a great question. Because it's obvious you don't know what you're about to say next. So that's such a good question. Aloha to me it's like the everyday little things, just being kind to the people around you. This year, it's looked like not judging, more in my mind. Like what comes out is really important, but also the thoughts that are in my head and like the things that I digest. Whether that's content or the things that I hear, to me that like you can create the environment for Aloha to thrive or for it to die. And I think a part of pouring out. Aloha is also taking it in and like not being around people who are toxic, not taking in content that's all about like negative things. So curating a space for you to thrive and give out aloha is something that I've been developing this year.
So
yeah.
So by doing that, you keep it aloha. Yeah.
Yes, I'm keeping it aloha. Are you? Is that I'm supposed to have that tag? That's how I keep it aloha. That's how I keep it aloha.
Yeah. Can we give like a my name is Star, former
Sure.
Miss Hawai'i, and that's how I keep it aloha.
Okay. Do you want to know something funny before I do that? In my family, we always used to, sorry, I'm such a portuguese. We always used to like fake our Miss Hawai'i introductions, right? So we would be like, I'm Dahl-Thurston and I'm Miss Hawai'i, or like, and I'm from Honolulu, Hawaii, you know? And me and Spiff used to do that, and my cousin Tiffany. And so when I got to do that at Miss America, I was over the moon. So I'll do that right now. Okay. My name is Dahl-Thurston and I'm Miss Hawai'i 2023, and that's how I keep it aloha.
That's so funny. Kanoi would always do stuff like that growing up.
We're soul sisters.
Yeah, I know. I think that's why I have a good banter with you, because it's like Kanoi's like my sister.
Which perhaps means we are soul sisters.
Yeah,
because you are a girly.
I'm a girly. Recently,
Yeah.
I'm
A recent
I'm a
girly.
recent girly. I'm learning that.
Welcome.
Yes.
Welcome to the sisterhood.
Thank you. Our Yas Queen.
That was good.
Period.
Yeah. Period.
No,
Slay.
I've tried too hard.
No, period per slay.
Yes.
I've been trying to ask the young people, like, what is the new slay? I say slay so much, but I'm like, what is it? And someone was like talking about Riz. Mm-hmm. Did you know that Riz is short for charisma?
Yeah.
Like, I had no idea. And when I literally saw a TikTok of Amy Poehler going, Riz, and then someone was like, what is that? She goes, it's short for charisma. The kids say it. And it was like, gosh, I'm so old. But a part of like Miss Hawai'i, I stopped going on the internet. And
now you're being reintroduced.
Yeah, people will come for me like, I didn't watch the news. I didn't like absorb anything that was happening in the world because I was so in my own bubble.
You got to use this line. It works every time.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's only my third day here.
Yeah.
Do you know that TikTok?
No.
Okay, because my girlfriend uses it all the time. There's a TikTok when it's like.
Yes, I do. But I'll say, I don't know, I just work here. Yeah. That's my favorite.
There's also one like, I just got here or something.
Yeah. I just got here.
Yeah. There's a lot of good TikTok phrases.
That's so good.
I'm learning a lot.
See, and that's why these people are smart. These are funny. It's almost like Vine is coming back in a new way.
Yeah. No, I like TikTok. I like watching stuff on TikTok over Instagram.
Yeah, me too.
Because I feel like it's...
Reels is like a copier. Like, people try to use it like TikTok and it's not the same.
Yeah, but TikTok is like more it's more raw.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's less pressure.
Yeah.
But also, or it's not as like, not scripted, produced. It's like your stuff unhinged, you know? And I feel like you could also find things that are very educational or things are just like genuinely funny and like viral things that just make you laugh.
Okay, wait. Yeah. I want to ask you this question about TikTok because I heard that the Chinese, remember when the Chinese TikTok, it was like the Chinese, right?
Oh, yeah. They're going to ban it in the US or something.
Right. Well, I had heard that they have TikTok in China, or it's called something else, but their TikTok created by Chinese people, they like purposely have the algorithm, like people get famous for doing dumb stuff, but then like Chinese TikTok is super educational and like about science and STEM, and it's like all an agenda to like mold the minds and like corrupt the minds of young people in America. What are your thoughts, Kamaka Diaz?
First off, that's a great question.
Sorry. Yeah, keep going. So sorry.
So America, you're famous, or people get famous off dumb stuff. That's how the algorithm works in America. And in China, it's like educational stuff, trying to almost brainwash people.
Yeah,
I can see it. It makes sense, right? It makes sense. Yeah.
And that's enough for me.
Yeah.
Because some people are like, oh, I heard so and so did this, and like it's gossip, and you never know. But if somebody can go, I could see them doing it. That's enough for me.
Yeah. I think so. I mean, that could be with a lot of things, assumptions, somebody could, I think I'm a really nice, genuine person, but somebody could be like, yeah, I heard Kamaka, he ran into like an old man and hit him down.
Yeah, no, I heard about that.
Yeah, exactly. And if somebody was like, I could see that. I could see
Yeah.
that happening.
Okay. You know, so my baby cousins, they're like sisters to me, and they keep it real, right? Everyone
Yeah.
gasses me like in the last 2 years. They're like, you're still not shit.
Yeah.
You know, my cousin comes home. She's living in Spain right now. And we're walking my dog. She goes, I feel like you're the kind of person to just leave the dog poop on the side of the road. And I was like, okay, that's rude. Like, do you really think that I'm someone who leaves it there?
Yeah.
And I pulled out the bag and I went, suck on this. Okay, I want to ask you pageant questions. Okay? Sit up straight. Do your best pageant.
All right. If we're going to do this, I'm going to need another shisha break.
Okay, yeah, go.
We're back. Hit me.
Okay, we're going to role play Miss Hawai'i, okay? But for you.
Wait, I feel like my posture needs to be better.
Yeah. And I'm going to intro you, okay?
Okay.
Welcome back to the Miss Hawai'i competition. Next up, we have contestant number 1, Kamaka Diaz, answering the on-stage question. Welcome, Kamaka.
Oh, hi. Dang it, I already started bad.
Your question is, how do you see your platform, Keeping It Aloha, contributing to the legacy of Native Hawaiians?
I believe that my platform, Keep It Aloha, will inspire the future generations and inspire them to inspire others so that they can inspire future generations. Thank you. Mahalo.
Thank you, Kamaka. That was really good.
I just know I've seen interviews where they use the same word.
No,
again,
they do
it's so funny.
because they're talking in circles. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you hear a woman repeat the question, you know she doesn't know what's going on, and I've done that a lot.
Yeah.
So you're just like, okay, she's just thinking. But here's the secret. I'm going to tell you the secret, and then I'm going to ask you another question.
Okay, and I'll be serious.
The question. The secret is to take any question and tie it into your platform. You know, so I could ask you about like, what's your favorite color, and finding a way. Well, my grandma's favorite color, my favorite color is pink because it was my grandmother's favorite color, and she's the first one who inspired me to start my nonprofit to pour into other young women because she was such a leader in this space. And that was off the dome.
Oh,
so
freestyle.
Yeah. Okay, ready?
All right. Okay, and you want me to be serious?
Yeah, I want you to be serious. I want you to give your best.
I started off serious.
And you did, and then you lost it.
I saw it, and I was like, oh, I can make this funny.
It was good. Yeah, it was comedic. It was good. Okay. Okay. The first to answer the onstage question is contestant number 1, Kamaka Diaz. Welcome, Kamaka.
Aloha, it's so great to be here.
Aloha to you. Your question is, what is your ideal version or ideal idea of a date?
My ideal version of a date will probably be anything that has to do with keeping it aloha. I believe that keeping it aloha isn't about making myself happy, but making others happy. And although we need to keep ourselves happy in order to keep it aloha, I believe that I should create an environment that's filled with aloha for my potential date so that she, or in 2024, he, they, it, them, that thing feels comfortable. So no matter what it is, as long as I bring my aloha to the table and put their aloha first, it would be a great date. Mahalo nui.
Mahalo. Cancelled.
No, I got at least half of them.
Yeah, that's true. Zem.
I forgot that. Yeah. I think I start off serious and then
and then you go. No, that's good. I'm so terrible at those questions. Like, you have to be really in that pocket.
I can't do things that don't feel organic to me.
Yeah.
Because then I just it feels awkward. So I naturally gravitate to my regular self, which is obviously the joking side. Yeah. Try one more.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to. Yeah.
Okay.
We got a little bit better.
Let me get a a better one. Okay.
Yeah. I gotta think about what my platform is. I just use keep it aloha.
Yeah.
But let me say my platform is like it could be anything, right? This community.
Yeah. Something that you want to.
Empowering Native Hawaiians.
Okay. Empowering Native Hawaiians.
Okay.
Got it. So the preliminary question is always about the CSI or platform. So this I'm going to ask you specific.
CSI, what is that?
Community Service Initiative.
Oh, okay. I thought that was the TV show.
It was.
Okay.
Wait, yeah.
CSI.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about her. Okay. Okay. Welcome back to the Miss Hawai'i competition 2024. First up for the onstage question portion of this evening's competition is contestant number 1, Kamaka Diaz. Welcome, Kamaka.
Aloha, Star. It's great to see you again.
You as well. Your question is, your platform, Keeping It Aloha, aims to empower Native Hawaiians. In what way would you empower them, and how do you see that impact affecting the community in 10 years?
Great question. I believe, coming from Hilo, Hawaii, I have a kuleana to represent everybody, not just from there, but in the state of Hawaii. And that's if you even believe Hawaii is a state. Sorry. I'm trying to be serious here. Just pretend this never happened. Okay.
I'll ask it again.
Okay. I'm trying so hard. I was just gonna go off on a sovereignty thing, and then okay.
And I'm gonna ask you a different question, and it's good.
Okay.
And here's another tip. Someone who's really good at the questions, first thought you have, run with it because you don't have time. But you find
it's quick, yeah.
Yeah, you find a way to reel it back in. So you can say whatever you want, but you got to end it with, and that's why.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
No, I'm actually trying to be serious. I thought I had it.
Yeah.
And then the whole state thing, then I was just,
You're like,
my head is just
it's
like,
hard, right?
oh, state, is it really a state?
Yeah.
All this
Intrusive
internal
thoughts.
dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
You got it. Okay. Dang, that was a good question too.
Okay. Welcome back to the Miss Hawai'i competition. I'm just gonna ask you the question.
Okay.
First, on the onstage portion question. First onstage question will be answered by contestant number 1, Kamaka Diaz. Welcome, Kamaka.
Aloha, Miss Dahl-Thurston.
Your question is, your platform is called Keeping It Aloha, which aims to empower Native Hawaiians. What do you feel our community lacks right now in the space of empowering those that are identifying as Native Hawaiian?
I think that for too long, we've had other people tell our stories as Native Hawaiians. So as a Native Hawaiian coming from a small town of Hilo, I believe that I can be the representation that people need, and I can control the narrative along with using my platform to elevate the voices of other Native Hawaiians here in the community. Mahalo.
Knocked it out of the park. Killed it. That was the
Nice.
one. That was the one.
Okay, cool.
Killed
Got it.
Smashed that. Crushed that.
Yes.
Do you ever use accents to talking?
No, my girlfriend does.
Oh, what kind of
You
accent?
guys should just hang out.
I know. Faith, maybe one day we can be friends hanging out. So listen, I used to watch Love Island, and I used to do like the Love Island accent, UK, right? Like, I don't even know how to do it anymore. Like, I honestly I lost it. Like, I can't even do it. But then one day I started this like European weird Ukraine accent, and it was like game over, only talking. And this one is like natural. Only having this.
That's funny. She does those British ones.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
I like when they're
she
like,
has a good British accent.
anyone in the villa, like
Yeah.
coming to talk, like if anyone came to like turn my head, like the chats, like the banter has to be quite nice. Yeah, the
Just is
tattoos,
banter.
you know, like he's my type on paper, but I'm just not quite sure if the banter is there. It's like not very good. This one is more exciting for me because that one, like the British one is very like proper, like you can kind of like imagine the chav. But this kind of accent, not sure how I would look, not sure what is what is country. And then I like to say sometimes things like, in my country, not having running water and you're always in field, like this is such a nice place. I see not having electricity when I'm growing up, only having yard and having picking food from the ground and then eating dirt, and then sometime having cow, like having to cut cow open for eating food is like this. Now you can buy cow food at the supermarket.
Wow.
It's called food land. Literal land is food, but back in my country, the land is food. So interesting.
That's like your face changed as your accent changed. I feel like I looked at you differently. I saw like a Yugoslavic person.
I know. That's why I love that accent, because she's almost my alter ego, because I know her struggle of like, it's almost like Borat too. Like, wow, so much having thing in new country, like not having these things, not even having clothes in my country, just using leaves and stems to cover body.
You need your own podcast.
Maybe just in this.
You're shining too bright for this right now.
Are you intimidated by my personality?
Oh, no. I'm not intimidated. I'm inspired. I'm like, my wheels are turning. I'm just like, I need to get you your own TV show.
Oh my gosh. Wow. If you're co-signing it, that means maybe it's true.
Yeah. No, I'm not intimidated. I'm just more like, this is awesome. And like, I get excited to see other people's passions.
Yeah.
I feel like if I could help in any way to like help people achieve something or even unlock something, because I was like that, and I tell my girlfriend this all the time, like I was where you were at your age, even further behind. I'm 31.
30 years ago?
I've had time to experience certain things and create my career, and I went through all of this, the struggles, whatever it was. So if I could help accelerate that process, it's like, so you don't have to go through it, because I know you're already like, you can tell somebody's character, their good energy and all of that. So like, the intangibles are there, just because somebody helps you get there a little quicker doesn't mean like you didn't earn it. Like I know you could, but if somebody offered you a ride to that building over there instead of you walking, wouldn't you take it?
You can't. Yeah, of course.
Right?
And you can't do it on your own. If there's one thing I learned from Miss Hawai'i, it takes a team, and to take advantage of the people that are there to help you with good intention. When you can see the agenda, like you said, is really just accelerate people. And I love that.
It's like, I know you can walk. I know you're capable of walking, but hop in the back of my hybrid truck and let me take you there.
Back in Tesla truck.
Yeah.
What do they call it even?
Cybertruck. Yeah. So I just...
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just excited for your career. And the cool thing about this is I get to be fans of my guests.
Yeah.
So like I'm genuinely fans, and I cheer for them even after they're on the podcast. I follow along on social media. If they're doing something, I try to share it, or I'm just like, I'm just such a big fan of people.
Yeah.
So I think that's
what I say all the time. Like, I'm passionate about people. That's what I love, and just connecting.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Yeah. So I think you have a very bright career star. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So much nice thing to me. And I think best part even of Miss Hawai'i is having such hard stuff and not knowing exactly what is coming of this experience, but understanding like my passion is coming unlock in this time. So even sometimes it's really hard during year and pressure and this kind of thing, but I unlocked that I like talking to people and making funny laugh, joking, and I just enjoy making this kind of thing. So just like you. And I just so honored coming on podcast. Really fun. Looking around, having Texaco water bottle. I wish it had water in it so I could make it drinking, because not a lot of fresh water in my country, but so crazy.
Yes, thank you, Star Lavic.
I know, we should giving her name. I need a name.
You need a name. Yeah.
If you're thinking of good name for this kind of character,
comment below.
Yeah, right. So many people tell me I'm like that show, the Anna show, where she like scammed all those people. Is it Anna? Sure. It was a Netflix show, and she like scammed all these people. People will know what they're talking about.
Okay.
And she had an accent like that, and I was like, I hate her accent. I think it sounds so annoying, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's because people think what I'm saying sounds annoying.
But that means you're imitating that really well.
Right, but it was internal, I promise.
Yeah.
I'd never even heard it, like watched it until people said that to me.
Awesome. Okay, well, shifting gears, because we are coming to the end of the podcast.
Wow. Okay, yeah, phenomenal.
And Jordan is just like, is this thing gonna end soon?
Why didn't Jordan come over here?
I could talk forever.
Yeah, Jordan.
No, when Jordan comes on the podcast, I get in trouble. So we'll keep him off.
Because the sponsors don't like him.
No, because because it's like when you're talking to a friend, you're a little bit more unhinged.
Yeah.
Unfiltered. So he gets me saying stuff that I shouldn't be saying.
Yeah. Well, also, isn't there that he's got that thing like the felony stuff. Yeah. You can't be on camera. Yeah.
And like the stuff going on.
Yes.
We don't want to talk about that. We don't judge him.
Let's wait till they balance out the meds.
Exactly.
And see if we can.
Lot of empty pill bottles here.
Yeah, I saw that in the trash.
Yeah.
We'll be praying for him at my church. Yeah. Bless you, Jordan.
I hope he's listening to this.
Yeah, I don't think so, Russ. He'd be over
He
here
has his
smacking us.
headphones
Yeah. He'll
Yeah.
watch it when he's editing it.
Yeah.
Love you.
Okay. You definitely need your own podcast, though. We'll continue all this other banter on the other
Banter.
podcasts.
Yeah, if
But-
you go and watch it, like you've got to go watch it so
Yeah.
like your accent can get a bit better.
Yeah, I'm not a good accent guy. Well, I never really try, so I don't know. But
Yeah.
anyways,
I think it'd be good.
yeah. I do want to know, so far in your life, what are you most grateful for?
Wow. I think I'm grateful for such an amazing mother. She really went above and beyond, and it's almost ruined my expectations for people because she just gave everything to me constantly and was always in my corner without an agenda, put me first. And I think I wanted her to put herself first a little bit, you know, like she purposely didn't, after she had a divorce, she didn't date anybody because she didn't want anybody coming and going in our house and giving me that impression, you know, and that felt really like I didn't get that till I was older, till I start dating people, realizing how hard that would be to be alone and not search for someone. Because as a kid, I just imagined that she didn't desire it. But now I realize we're made to be in relationship. Like there was definitely desire.
Life is better shared.
Exactly. But she made that sacrifice to limit the messy part of it, you know, and she didn't have to do that, but she did. And I wish she didn't. I wish that she had that, but it was all out of love. And to know such a great love, you know, is so great. And a lot of people say that our beginning of an understanding of God is first through our parents, right? And I just had such an abundance of love from her that it set such a great foundation for me to understand like perfect love from God. And I'm most grateful for her because we lived a lifetime of memories in 23 years that I realized people who live with their parents or have their parents alive till they're like 50 years old don't even have some of the experiences that I got to share with her or the intimacy and vulnerability. Like she was my best friend, and I didn't have to wait till I was an adult to have all of these crazy conversations, you know, like I know what she thought about every single thing and what she would think about kind of every single thing. And I'm so grateful to have known her in a vulnerable way because I met people that don't know their parents like that. So I feel blessed, and there's still versions of her that I didn't know when she was younger, right? That I get to hear stories about, which is really, really funny. But yeah, she's what I'm most grateful for.
Awesome. I'm sure she's very proud of you, especially after winning Miss Hawai'i, and of the other things you're gonna accomplish. Definitely.
Thank you.
Okay. So what is one thing you wish people knew about you that they don't?
Whoa. That I'm shy.
I don't believe that.
I always lead with that. I'm always like, I'm so shy.
Some people say that, you know,
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of people who are always in front of cameras, they're like,
Yeah.
I'm more introverted. I do not believe that for you.
Yeah, no, I'm not shy. That they don't know. I'm such an open book, so that's kind of hard.
What do you think they misunderstand about you?
That I'm super confident in everything. You know, I think people are like, wow, you just like go and do it because you don't care. But I would say I still think about everything. You know, I still go home and think about, oh my gosh, I can't believe I said that. Or like you rethink of what you would have said in that conversation. So yeah, I think some people think that it's just like well, I don't even know, because then I also do feel confident in a lot of ways, but there's still the insecurity. You know, I don't just leave things and let it go. Like, here's what it is. I'm really sensitive. So, which is funny because as I learn more about people, the ones that bark the loudest are usually the most sensitive ones, which is like me.
Yeah, the loudest drum is the most empty.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't have described myself that way. But thanks. But in that same vein, I'm like I can be very sensitive. I took a lot of things personally, and not in a way where like I can't take it. Like you can dish it and not take it, but I'm just really quick with my words. But then if somebody says something, I think about it. I'm like a
internalize it.
Or internalizer, for sure.
You reflect on it, and then it comes out, or this passes.
And not always in an insecure way, but more in like, am I really like that? You know, because there's always, I think growing up, I had this idea of like, I'm not sure if that's always looking for validation to confirm what I thought. I'm not really great at just owning my thoughts or like owning what I do, because I'm like, well, is that right? Or like, is that kosher? Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, when people say those things to me, sometimes I get really sensitive.
Yeah.
But now I'm learned to
It's
just
good.
like oil on the skin. Like it just falls off my back,
Yeah.
you know?
Gotta have the Aloha armor.
Aloha
beep,
armor.
beep,
Yeah.
beep,
Beep, beep, beep,
Yeah.
boop, boop.
Yeah. Okay. But it's good to just be aware of
Yeah.
that. I think that's just a great step as we mature into,
Yeah.
adults.
What do you
It's
think
just-
people misunderstand about you?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Probably that I'm just like a very nice guy.
Oh, they think that you're Hamas.
I think people, like you mentioned, like it's rare to find somebody who's like just genuine and kind and with no agenda.
Yeah.
Like I think especially because I'm on so many things all the time, and like yes, people love it. I got a lot of fans. They see it. It goes through to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But the other side that doesn't see the good stuff, they just think like, oh, look at him taking money from Texaco, or look at him talking to these people like he must be a terrible person, like killing whatever, or doesn't care about Hawaiians. It's controversial stuff. I'm like, no, like I never want to make people mad. I'm just peace and love.
Yeah.
I don't really care to be famous and all that stuff. I just want to do my work. I want to make a living. I want to go be with my people.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
that's all I want to do, and I just want to treat people right.
Yeah.
And I want to be kind. I like doing stuff like I see trash on the ground, I pick it up. I see somebody needs help, I help them. Like that's just who I am. Like I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes. I'm just trying to do what I need to do and get home.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
I truly am just like a very kind person, and I care about people. So I think some people might not see that.
Yeah.
I think most people do that follow me. That's why they follow me. They see the authenticity and the kindness. But for the people that, don't take the time to really get to know who I am, I think that probably is missed. Yeah.
Yeah. The genuine part. That it's not a show.
Yeah. It's like, I'm not doing it for likes. I'm not doing it for whatever. If I do something that you don't like, it didn't have any ill intention. It was just like, I thought it was good. Like if I have a clip and I'm just like, oh wow, that's a really good clip. That's great perspective. People are going to like it. And they don't. I'm just like, you're only doing this to make people mad. I'm like, I literally wasn't. I genuinely thought this is a good clip, and people have great conversations.
Yeah. There was something that you'd posted. I don't even remember what it was, but you like had to do an apology about it. Like people misunderstood.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It was like something about like, you got to do this and this and this.
Yeah.
And then people only listen to like one part of it.
Yeah. And somebody told me recently that like you can be saying something, but that's not always the same thing that people are hearing because they're thinking while you're talking. And so like they may hear something that you never said, but they always attach that to you, which is such a scary thing when
people hear what they want to hear. Yeah. They don't always listen. They listen to respond. They don't listen to understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's major. Yeah.
And I see it on social media, and it just depends. I try not to take it personally because like a lot of it is insecurities being projected. A lot of it is just whatever is going on in their life that they're just trying to get out.
Yeah.
Everybody's just trying to get something off of their chest. Yeah. You could just be talking about a whole nother subject and they will find anything not even related sometimes and just say whatever they want to say. And I'm just like, this video's about cats and you're talking about like genocide or something,
Right. No. And here's why I think, because we've never been so disconnected and we are made to be in community. And the core of that is being seen. And so when you take that away, people are looking for something. But what I think the majority of them are looking for is to be seen.
That's
why you push emotionally this agenda and why it's at the front of your heart and the front of your mind and spirit is because nobody's acknowledging that you're that. But when you have a core group of people that really see you and you feel safe with, you don't feel the need for everybody to see that on you as an identity.
Yeah.
Because the people that matter to you know it.
That's a great point. I think you see that on social media a lot. You see that with a lot of transplants here. They're just trying to find their community. They're trying to be seen. Or even disconnected Hawaiians trying to reclaim their identity. They will attach themselves to any ideology and roll with it. Same with politics. The whole Trump supporters, like they're just trying to find a community, be seen and be like, yes, this is who we are, support this person, whether that's the left, the right. I think it relates to a lot of aspects in our life. They're just trying to
we're all just trying to belong. It's all we really want.
Yeah, and be heard.
And be heard.
Yeah, exactly.
Be heard, be seen.
And when you're not a very secure person, you're gonna try to attach your identity to other people's identities. you know. So I see that in a lot of aspects with, you know, people moving here and be like, this is where I'm supposed to be, and this is where I'm meant to be. Hawaii called me, you know. Or they're just like, yeah, ku'e, F America. And like they didn't even grow up here or whatever. They're just trying to find, you know, something to believe in. Believe in God, if anything. Believe in something. Believe in a higher power, whatever it is.
Because, I mean, you put your trust in people, you put your faith, identity in people. They're always going to let you down.
Yeah.
We're human. You make mistakes. You can't, it's not going to work, and it's not going to feed you the way you think it's going to feed you.
Yeah. I just think people are lost. We're so lost.
Yeah. Me included, by the way.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah. I think we're all trying to figure out, even when you think you have figured out, you don't. But that's just life. Yeah. So it's all
is
part
this
of
where
the
Andy
experience.
Bumatai sat?
That is where Andy Bumatai sat. Yes.
This is really exciting.
And he was, you
guys just did that podcast.
No, we had the comedians, and then we had Kamakapili. Okay, yeah. So it's been sat on by one other person. Besides, So there are certain spots, like if you move around, that only Andy touched. Yeah. I think, right over there. I think
how's the bottom of my foot? Was it?
Oh
my gosh. No, Andy, I love you.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to know, what are your future plans from here on out?
Wow. Figure out how to create stuff. Like I joke around and I say that I'm the creative director of my life, but I want to be the creative director of something else and continue to do something else after that. I just really am passionate about that. And as much as it scares me, I think doing more like content stuff, you know, in front of camera work and just talking to people, not so that my face is there, but really I just think that's my gift. And I think my kuleana to share and talk and I'm a parigi. I got to do it. I got to do it.
You got to get off your chest. You can't hold it in.
And my mom always told me, if you find something that doesn't feel like work, that's what you need to do. And I felt that like doing film stuff, and I feel it just doing things like this. And so I'm just going to let God kind of sprinkle that. You know, right now I'm totally in recovery mode from Miss Hawai'i. Just
relax, take it easy.
Routine. But I feel something bubbling for sure.
Yeah, definitely. As a creative, it's always going to come. You can't stay stagnant too long. You can't
stop. Yeah. So it's good to rest and recover on the battery, but I can feel it. We're like at 60%. And I'm okay, as soon as I hit as soon as I get that notification that's like your battery is sufficiently charged, I think it's going to be.
You're going to hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Go time.
Okay, cool. Before we end the podcast, I got to know, what is your life hack?
Yes. Okay. My life hack, I thought about this for so long, and I have two. One is these sticky things on my phone. They're like suction cuppies.
Oh, I've never seen that before.
Really?
Yeah. Is that for grip? Like it doesn't slide off things?
No, it literally, let's see. Oh, sorry. That's
look. Wow.
You stick it to anything, glass, hard surface, and it should just stay there. I didn't know. So I moved the wall a little bit.
Yeah.
But so you can watch videos, you can do FaceTime. It's good for content. It's like, I lose my phone all the time, so I just stick it on the mirror, talk FaceTime, whatever.
Wow, that's so smart.
I can't believe you never saw that.
No.
Yeah. So this is called OctoBuddy.
You get it from like Amazon or something?
Yeah, Amazon. And they have non-branded ones.
Yeah.
But usually it comes in like a block like this.
Yeah.
But then I liked these because it kind of matches my wavy case. But yeah,
that's
game
cool.
changer.
Okay.
And my second hack is impulse purchases. I always like was an impulse buyer, and I'm better now because I'm more of a budgeter. But some of my favorite things that I've ever had is because I bought it on a whim and like were game changing about my life. The Kosas hyaluronic acid lip balm, game changer. Bought it in the Sephora line. My Aloha bag and my Kahua Kollective bag, favorite bags I ever bought. I just bought it randomly because I saw it. These shoes I have these shoes. I didn't wear them today, but these like magical shoes from Macy's that I love, and I have two colors. Everyone loves them and thinks that they're like high fashion. Impulse $20 from Macy's. But this is the kind of thing you never know unless you go. Put that on a sticker. So yeah, I'm pro impulse purchasing, and I think sometimes when your gut like sees something,
you follow your
Yep, and it leads you to the best purchases of your life.
Okay, yeah. Purchases, people, places, things, everything.
Wow.
Yeah. Follow.
That's poetry.
Impulse buy your life.
Impulse buy your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
By Dahl-Thurston.
Yeah.
A guidebook to living aloha.
Well, thank you. Mahalo for sharing that. This has been such a fun episode. I just have, honestly, we could go on and on
and
for,
on and on
for
and
days.
on. I know.
Yeah,
Part
this is fun. Yeah, we might have to have a part 2 in the future once get your
me and my future
podcast.
husband will come back.
Yes, and you can tell your love story.
We'll tell our love story about,
Yes. Okay. Well, I just have my last fast fave 5 questions.
Okay,
These are
great.
just rapid fire answers, okay?
No explanation. Copy that.
If you want, yeah.
Okay.
It's more rapid fire answers, as in you answer quickly, but you can talk about
let's do it.
Okay. Favorite film?
Oh my gosh. The Orient Express.
I don't know if I've seen that.
Oh my gosh, it's Agatha Christie, I think.
Is it?
Puro Aqua.
It's not an animated one, right?
No, it's a mystery. It was from a book. I think it's an Agatha Christie book, or no, something like that. And then it was made into a film.
Isn't it with the guy
the mustache?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why.
That film was the reason I
like
decided to pursue film, which people will hate me for.
Death on the Nile. Same.
Yeah, same guy.
Yeah. Perot.
Yeah, Perot.
Perot.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that was a film that changed it for me.
Okay.
I saw it and I went, you know what? No, I need to do this because that movie sucked me in, and I loved it.
And that's an older one, or it's a newer one?
It was the remake of it that they recently done,
okay.
But it's an older one and it's from a book too.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'd read that book growing up.
Yes, because I read the book, Death and then I watched the movie.
Yeah.
And then there's like a bunch of series.
There's a bunch, yeah.
Okay, cool. I like those. Okay, favorite food to eat?
Ooh, sundubu. Like Korean tofu soup.
Oh, okay. I was like, wow.
But no shellfish because I'm allergic to shellfish. But it comes in that bowl and it's like bubbling.
Okay.
With the egg and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Green
my
food's
girlfriend
my
gets
favorite.
that. Yeah.
Green food at the beach.
Ooh. Let it bake in the sun.
Picnic? Yeah, exactly.
Okay, favorite hobby?
Talking.
No. Talking stories.
I know. Actually, I've been making friendship bracelets. I don't have my thing on.
Okay.
But I bought it off Amazon and it's so good because I've been doing audiobooks, listening to them. And I just kind of like make bracelets.
Oh, okay.
But with small beads, not
make
the
a
big
Keep
ones.
It Aloha one.
Yes. Okay. And I'll bring it to you.
Yeah. Okay.
Would you wear it or would you not? Maybe like one time.
I don't wear anything. But I might wear it for a little bit if it meant a lot. Yeah. Okay. Favorite way to recharge?
Being by myself.
Disconnecting.
Okay, but somebody recently just told me about like intentional rest versus like vegging and like what is active rest, and I realized I don't really do a lot of active rest. I just veg because I'm so on all the time and then I need to just veg, but it's not recharging you. So I'm actually actively figuring out how to recharge actively, like what that looks like.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I've
which
I
heard
think
similar things.
It's a lot of ocean stuff. Like I'll just go and splish splash around because I'm more of a land person. I don't really, the ocean scares me. Which is funny because I'm on an island. But yeah, splish splash, the sun,
Okay.
audiobook.
Awesome. Okay, last one. Favorite karaoke song?
Oh my gosh, Burn by Usher.
Oh, okay.
Which I thought I knew the words to, and I went to Coney Island and I was like, they had live karaoke on the stage. I said, I'm doing it. And then I went and I didn't know any of the words. And it was hilarious. All these Popolo people are all stoked that I'm about to do this song. And by stoked, they're like, but then I got them going in the end. I didn't know the words.
Started off rough, but
started out rough. It used to be Faded by Tyga.
Okay.
So at least I've kind of back. And actually, I would love it to be No Air, Jordan Sparks and Chris Brown, which my ex-boyfriend refused to sing that song with me. And I was like,
so you need somebody to do the Chris Brown part.
If you want to sing that with me, you might have a chance.
Pop the question already.
Boom. Yeah.
Okay, that's the way to start his heart.
Yeah. Sorry to out that guy, but he never wanted to sing it with me.
And that's why he's not with
match.
you today. Yeah, exactly. Okay, awesome. Well, that's all we have for you today. Mahalo for coming on, talking stories, sharing your awesome personality with us. We're going to get your show some way, somehow. So
somehow having a show. Thank you for having me on show. It's so good. I feel so special because you're a big deal in community and very feeling lucky to be here. Thank you very much.
I feel honored. This is going to be the start of a bright career.
This is the start of something new. It feels so right to be here with you.
All right, so mahalo, Star, for joining us on the Keep It Aloha podcast. Spread love, be kind to one another, and mahalo for listening to us today.
The start of
keep
something
going.
new.
Yeah, we have new episodes every Thursday, so make sure you follow us and leave a review. I'm your host Kamaka, and remember to always keep it aloha.
I don't know the second verse.